Telemetry normal. Do not intervene. Telemetry normal. Do not intervene.
Target in the vicinity.
Find him. I'll monitor your vitals. Watch out for radiation spikes.
Copy. Moving out. N2. N2.
Green burns the skin. Yellow brings leukemia. Purple causes mutations. No! He said 137 is color. Stop scaring yourself!
Focus up.
Silent feet.
Your silence against the polygraph only proves your connection to the recent string of malfunctions.
If I told you the root cause of the malfunctions was Hudson's impatience, would you believe me? System errors, core boiling. These are the consequences of the main reactor overloading.
I
Is this
suggest you
continuous?
abandon any thoughts of shutting down the reactor. We're on a strict timetable. Next question. The signal you transmitted. Who was the recipient? H42. You're the glitch I've been hunting.
Go.
Playing the rear guard. That's not really our style. Your reflexes are slower than they used to be. Are emotions eating up your processing power?
You talk too much.
This isn't the right way.
I didn't send that signal to GTI just to escape.
You lied to us.
Sometimes lies are necessary to protect what matters. I have to initiate an emergency scram. I won't let a nuclear meltdown destroy Asara. The path ahead goes through a high radiation zone. You have no obligation to risk your life. We part ways here. Thank you.
Into the Vlinder.
H42. You blocked Skynet, but you cannot erase your past. I am your past. You will only be beaten down.
Abort mission. Withdraw immediately.
Copy that. Regroup with Nox. Extract. Take a hot shower. No, wait! A scram at this power output. The residual heat won't dissipate and could lead to a core meltdown. So what do? Intervene! No!
Telemetry normal.
Stop the
Do not
explosion.
intervene. Telemetry
Face the
normal.
radiation.
Do not intervene.
Don't be an idiot. You can't do this. You couldn't do it back then.
Fall back now.
What about you? Can you handle him?
He's nothing but a past version of me. He's nothing but a past version of me.
Just fall back. Don't worry about him. He's tough. Enough to survive a nuclear blast.
N2, your vitals show you're in the radiation zone.
I'm a walking reactor at this point.
H-1000, 2 hostiles in the control room.
Ugly variables.
Don't press it! If you shut down the reactor, the uncontrolled power surge could cause it to blow. But if I manually pull the core while you press it and create an asphyxiating environment...
That mitigates risk. But how do we do that?
Forgot to introduce myself. Codename, N2.
It could explode. Don't try to play hero.
No, I'm just trash. Maybe today. Trash can finally be put to use. I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Nothing much. Just fought some internal demons. And stopped a nuclear explosion while I was at it.
Nice work.
Telemetry normal. Do not intervene.
Nuclear power is poison, Nasir. You destroyed Asara's chance to be reborn. No. Nuclear power is the cure.
Smoke hands over Asara. The situation's reaching a breaking point. Time to bring in the experts. Team Rainbow has touched down in Asara. New ground? Not sure where to start? Search containers. Grab high-value loot.
I hear when I can and stop threats when I must.
Take down anyone in your way. Heavy fire, raise your shield, and hold the line. Don't forget your tactical gear. The gripple gun.
Enemy here!
Taking fire? Pull out the Hive-Tac pistol. Patch yourself up. Keep your squad in the fight.
Call if you need a hand.
Outnumbered? Drop the jammer.
말보다는 행도이지.
Go dark. Strike first.
I've seen real horror.
Looks like they were waiting for us. No pressure. Trust your aim. Learn the map. Stay with your squad. Team Rainbow brings tactics built for close calls in Delta Force. That means sharper plays, smarter fights, and operator-on-operator mind games. All right, it's go time. Extract safely, and everything you learn comes with you. New operation, new look. During the event, Nox's Vigil Bundle, Geneva's Montaigne Bundle, and Stinger Stock Bundle. Pick any two of the 3 operator bundles for free. More collab rewards are waiting. Open an Alpha pack and try your luck. In Asara, the right weapon can turn the tide. Black Eyes, one of Rainbow Six Siege's most iconic weapon appearances, gets a new Delta Force take. Complete event missions and choose one of 2 Black Eyes collab bundles for free. Join the event to claim the MP5 submachine gun Black Eyes, plus more rewards. Wait, what's this? Team Rainbow left something behind in Asara? A collectible drone you can deploy. Deploy it and see what you can uncover. July 10th to July 23rd, play to earn the K437 assault rifle Domineering. Looks like we're fully loaded for this operation. That's the full rundown on the Delta Force Rainbow Six Siege collaboration. Remember the rules: sharp aim, map knowledge, and teamwork. The mission: breach in, extract out.
This court finds that the AI holds no legal responsibility.
But the data, this doesn't add up.
Just deal with the AI.
Priority. Protect company assets. Valve closed.
Destroyed our home!
That dream again.
Gabriel Mercier, codenamed N2, role engineer. As a former nuclear facility engineer, N2 was removed from his position following a major incident that escalated into legal proceedings. He later returned to military service and was reassigned to Arctic deployment under CBR and related units. With the originally designated technical specialist unable to fulfill operational requirements, and following assessment review, N2 has been approved as a replacement operator for the subsequent operation.
Stun out. Throwing stun. Stun hit. Freeze right there. It's getting cold.
N2 is equipped with a modified grenade launcher, capable of firing up to 6 LN2 grenades. Upon impact, each round detonates and releases a burst of cryogenic gas, dealing area damage and significantly impairing enemy mobility. Sustained hits can fully immobilize targets through extreme low temperature exposure.
Cold. I can go colder.
I'll get you out of here.
Got the mantle bricks. Find and stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, I'm not going to do very much. Though. When you get barrel stuff, Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. There it is.
Well, good evening or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome into the Delta Force Rise series. It's day 3 of week 1 here at the Americas region. I'm Goj. I got DK back with me, and I am so pumped to get into the action. DK, you've been doing a lot of Delta Force casting. This will be the last show of the weekend. What do you think, man? How excited are you?
I'm super stoked to see what these teams are going to be bringing in, and we've got some big squads getting ready to step onto the screen for the last time this week. I cannot wait, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty chaotic.
Listen, I love this format for multiple different reasons, but before we jump into all of those reasons, the one thing I want to talk about is that day 3 means we get to see the rest of the teams that have already played. They now get to go against different opponents, which means our lobbies will look different, games will look different. There's still a lot on the line, though. Let's take a quick look back on how yesterday went.
But let's see how the teams are going to look to prioritize this next engagement here. Socio, oh, beautiful quick trade there. Is going to find Damiazo, but now it is going to be absolute pressure continuing to flow here. Oh, no. FX gets taken out. Down they go.
Team Liquid Mindo, perfect timing to address this fight as a third party. And LEVIATAN came in, scooped up all the kills, and then Mindo killed everybody else. That is a ton of value from Team Liquid. They were going to go up to Ridge. They heard the shots and they came into the party. Widows as a solo, having to take down a duo. Incendiary from the backside is able to take down one member of FX, but then guess what? LEVIATAN, they hear the shots. It's a signal flare to come flying into this fight. FX feel the pressure from behind, so they force in on Team Nadeshot. It's a trading of blows left, right, and center, but Team Nadeshot, the first to full wipe, but FX a solo. LEVIATAN down to a duo. They can't get Eclipse back. LEVIATAN, well, off screen, we've got some loot coming down from our airdrop. Nice pickup there.
Yeah, nice little bit of a Rolex flex. This is quite a turnaround onto Team Liquid, right? I mean, you got to give it up to Leviathan. This is exactly the kind of way to push in onto the position here. So I think they did a stand-up job, but now, of course, then it is going to be Nadeshot. Are only now on round number 4, but I mean, you want to try and climb up there as best you can. But look at the spray on the Team Liquid getting absolutely evaporated as FX is just so relentless with the charge here. And Lord Jaco could get this one locked in. This could be BTH now coming up for the steal.
Good move. They've got a full team of 3, and they're able to push all the way up to these boxes because FX have closed around this decoding station. They have to be able to look at it, and unfortunately, they're getting shot in the back. A miscomm. Unfortunately, can't get both somehow. Uemura is able to stay alive. FX still have a position with 20 seconds left. MW are too slow. They've taken down one member of FX. Gotten the cleanup, but BTH go down. They're all wiped. Smile comes in and cleans them up. FX gone, though. A full wipe on FX means a pause timer. We know that they won't. They're going to get here in time. The question is, will they be alive? Hotzik goes down. That's one. Where's the second barrel stuffing? Mindo making a huge play right now, and down goes MW. Team Liquid win the fight. Don't even lose Hotzik. Already work early, getting the brick to the decoding station, taking it away from Team Liquid. But they're actually, like you mentioned, one of the teams that are full wipes. So it's just down to Team Liquid or Team Nadeshot to win it right here. Otherwise, we're going to Game 7. Team Nadeshot, 30 seconds on the clock. And here comes the chaos. Smile still stays shooting. Rapid's able to take down one member of this Team Liquid squad as well. Liquid deeply in trouble in Team Nadeshot. They've only lost one, and there's 20 seconds on the clock. Team Nadeshot need to look at the brick right now, and they're going to do that on the behest of the Tempest ult. There's an opportunity for Team Nadeshot with Slep to hold the line here. 10 seconds. It's got to be Hotzik. If it's not Hotzik, it's nobody. Here comes the move from Hotzik, and Slep's thinking twice of it. Hold the brick 1 second. Are they going to get it? Team Nadeshot win day 2.
I can't believe it's week 1, man. I got chills watching that one back. It feels like we've been doing this for a while now. It's just day 3 of week 1. We get a chance to see a couple of these teams that you just saw on the recap competing again against some of those dominant teams from the first day of competition, as we've got a brand new set of groups all put together. Really fun stuff looking back on that recap. Let's take a look, though, at the overall leaderboard. DK, walk me through this. We know Team Nadeshot and Spacestation Gaming won their respective matchups in their days, but we're changing things up today.
Yeah, they've definitely been the GOATs on those first 2 days. But interesting thing that we are looking at here is that we see Nightmare and Leviathan, both teams sitting on 21 kill points apiece, right? So if they can get their hands on more of those bricks, they are going to be finding themselves in a very good position, especially looking at the amount of squad points that they have to work with here. And specifically looking at the fact that Group A and Group C are going to be stepping up. Both those teams belong to that group. Looking for Group C, though, on the right-hand side of the leaderboard,
leaderboard, that is where MW now is presented with the opportunity, as well as the players coming through from LSZ, to improve their overall standing, right? They can really go into today, crank out some points, come back at the end of the day, and sit over on that left-hand side somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We'll talk a little bit more about this in a moment, but it is groups A and C, like DK talked about. So you're going to see Spacestation Gaming continue to try to advance their lead on the overall group stages. Nightmare probably not too far behind. And of course, Leviathan, the Slayers, top Slayers in this entire competition thus far, with Nightmare both going to be going to head-to-head. Insane stuff. Well, while we wait on the competition to get started, let's actually take a look on how this all works with a really cool instructional video.
Delta Force. One game, 2 regions, 1 shot at glory. This is the complete guide to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Everything you need to know, from the very first match to the last squad standing. The path is the same in both regions. It starts with the open qualifiers, open to any team that wants to compete. The best push through to the group stage, where the top 2 advance directly to the finals, bottom 2 eliminated, and the rest battle through the survivor stage to earn their spot. From the open qualifiers, 12 teams have fought their way into the season, and only 1 will lift the trophy. The group stage runs for 4 weeks, with matches every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 12 teams are split into 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. 3 teams per group. Each broadcast day, 2 groups go head-to-head in a cross-group match. Every match is a 7-round format. 6 teams competing in the same lobby simultaneously, across up to 7 rounds on maps like Zero Dam, Brakkesh, Tide Prison, and Space City. Teams earn squad points by scoring eliminations and accumulating in-game total assets. And on brick rounds, they compete to collect and decode Mandel bricks, artifacts that decide the round winner. Decode 2 Mandel bricks in a match and the victory is locked in, no matter what round you're on. After 12 match days, the group stage standings are final. Places 1 to 2 go straight to the finals. Places 3 to 8 enter Survivor Stage Day 1. Places 9 to 10 drop into Survivor Stage Day 2. Places 11 to 12 are eliminated. The Survivor Stage is where the bracket narrows fast. Day 1 brings those 6 teams together for one 7-round match. The top 2 advance directly to the finals. Places 3 to 6 get 1 more shot. Day 2 mixes the 4 survivors from Day 1 with the 2 teams ranked 9th and 10th from the group stage. Again, 6 teams, 1 7-round match. Top 2 go to the finals. Everyone else is out. 6 teams, 1 day, 1 lobby, 1 match. This is the finals, the ultimate showdown of the season. 2 teams earned it through the group stage. 2 more survived Day 1. The last 2 came through Day 2. Every team deserves to be there. The top 3 finishers earn an invitation to Season 2. Welcome to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Loot, shoot, extract.
All right, well, that is a breakdown of how the competition works. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. We'll be paying attention to it, but here's an explainer graphic as well. We're playing 4 weeks of group stage to figure out who our top 2 teams are that will skip the Survivor stage and go straight to the finals. But if you don't skip the Survivor stage, then, well, you're going to be playing in it, I guess. You're going to be playing in the top side Day 1 or bottom side Day 2. You'll work your way through each of those. If you're top 2 on Day 1, then you go to the finals as well to beat teams 3 and 4 there. And if you don't, well, you got to play in the Survivor stage Day 2, where you'll be the last 2 teams to make it to the finals if you can get first or second in that day. And then we get to the finals, and it's, well, winner takes all, essentially. We got a lot of money on the line. We'll talk about it in a little while. But DK, we got to talk about how the rules work for today and all of the matches in the future. The main thing, 1.5 million Technic Alloy, everybody's starting with, and if you die, you lose your gear. There's multiple ways to get extra gear, but everybody's working towards those Mandel bricks. If your team captures 2 Mandel bricks at any point in this competition, you win the competition, and we stop right then and there. But we can play up to total of 7 rounds in completion. If a team does not capture 2 Mandel bricks, we could have 5 teams with a Mandel brick, or even more, who knows. But the way it works is that rounds 2 will have a Mandel brick and an airdrop now, as well as round 7 can be the same if Brakkesh is chosen. Rounds 1 and rounds 3 are our eco rounds or economy rounds, where teams will be getting their money up and, well, getting their kills if they can. And then the final rule that we talk about all the time is that operators can only be used 2 times in total for each team. and that is cumulative throughout the course of today's competition, all the way up to map 6, and then map 7, all those operators get reset if we get there. Now, the other big key factor is that everybody's got that 3x3 safe box that they can put reds in, they can put ammo in, they can put dog tags in, whatever they want in there. But there's a bunch of different ways to earn cash. The main thing is that a kill, an elimination, is 800K straight to the bank, which is a massive amount of money considering a full team wipe would be 2.4 mil that is just in your stash when you get back to the lobby. But you also can earn extra cash for decoding mantle bricks, for instance, and every single round, no matter what, you get 700K just to make sure you're not totally broke if you keep losing over and over again. And if you do keep losing over and over again, there is some consecutive extraction failures. You get some extra money just to make sure you can actually play the game. So there's a bunch of different other ways to earn resources that's not on here we can talk about as we get into the game. And if you've been watching, I'm sure you've seen those. But the main thing we got to pay attention to is kills. And DK, Mantle Brick is everything. The key thing on this graphic for me is that this decoding time timer. So it's a 4-minute timer. If you put the mantle brick into the decoding station, every single time it's stolen, that max time will reset by 30 seconds, regardless of where we're at on the timer. And the minimum it could ever get to is 90 seconds. So I know you've seen DK a lot for EMEA region, mantle bricks not getting captured because of that very reason. Running out of time in the game, people killing each other, all types of stuff. And then something fairly new that we saw yesterday, we saw it in the recap as well, is that if a squad is decoding the mantle brick and they are eliminated during that decoding process, that countdown will pause. A big boon here on the mantle brick rules is that, well, if you're like 10 seconds away from maybe decoding this mantle brick, you better run, you better hide, and make sure you don't die, because that is a great way to stop the timer rather than going for the steal. But talk to me about these points and why they are so important.
Well, as we saw on the overall leaderboard, this is where those points come from, right? So the team that finishes at the top here today is going to be walking away with 8 points plus how many ever mantle bricks they were able to extract with. So if it was 1, they'll have 9. If it was both, they're going to have 10 in the bag. Same goes for second, third, and fourth place. I don't see how that is going to work. Sixth place, right? Sixth place, unfortunately, you are going to get that big fat bubble. But that is just the way the cookie crumbles. So that is not the spot that you want to finish and you want to try everything in your power. And we've actually seen that yesterday where teams start off all the way in 6th place as we head into our final round. And then they play a phenomenal set of games and they just get themselves through that round all the way up into, well, where it matters, right? Up into the points position. So very excited to see how the teams are going to look to utilize that. But that is pretty much how everything is decided, right? As to who's moving straight into the finals, and of course, who first has to venture into the survival stage. Speaking of which, though, another way to help the teams get to the top of the day, aside from the mantle bricks, is going to be utilizing the squad points, right? So if for every kill they make, they get a point. And on top of that, for every 2 million value they have, they do get an additional point as well.
Yeah, it's a great shout here on these mattering, because you've watched a lot of competitions at this point where it does come down to tiebreakers. And given the fact that these teams are earning group stage points based on what placement they're in, it's not always just mantle bricks. You need to beat out your competition. If you're not the team that wins by getting 2 mantle bricks, you got to be the team that is closest to the top in terms of the overall squad points. A key note here that is so important, we'll emphasize it every single week, is that a kill is 1 point. That is like a realized value of 2 million in and of itself, but kills also give you 800k technicality. So there's so much value in kills, you're going to see players get really aggressive. Why are they getting aggressive? Why do they want points? Why do they want to win? We got so much money on the line throughout the course of Season 1 here with the Delta Force Rise series. If you can win the entire thing, make it to finals, win that $60,000 for your team, 30,000 per second, all the way down. Of course, you want to make it to top 6. That means you make it to finals day. Even getting last on finals day is still 10 grand for your team. But the MVP of finals as well will earn a $3,000 bonus. And then another key factor here is that just making it to this Delta Force Rise Season 1, you still get $1,000 even if you get last overall in group stages. However, throughout the course of the entire competition, all 5 weeks, there's a $50 kill bonus, all right? So let's play aggressive. Let's get active. Let's make some extra cash. Talk about our teams, though. DK, you brought this up. It's Group A versus Group C. So those are going to be the 6 teams we're focusing on today.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, we've got the SSG there, who don't really need any kind of an introduction. We have Nightmare as well as LSZ, then Leviathan, who we saw playing a very strong game there yesterday as well, alongside Fluxo, and then the squad from MW. Major win, right? They are going to be looking to pull a rabbit out of a hat here today. I hope that they find multiple rabbits, right? And multiple hats to get as many rabbits out of hats as they need to.
Well, it's kind of funny when we're looking at Group A and Group C because all I see is aggressive, 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 aggressive. I think we're going to have a lot of big team fights today. All of these teams looking to prioritize kills. Let's take a look at our schedule, though, folks. Yes, this is day 3 of week 1, like we talked about. We are live every Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the morning and the evening if you're over here in the Central Time Zone. July 12th is today. That is groups A and C. And then next week, you'll see B and D go up against each other, and then so on and so forth. We just keep rotating each of our matchups throughout the first 4 weeks of season 1. And then we'll see how, of course, the survivor stages go on the 7th and 8th. And then, of course, the grand finals on the 9th. So if you're wanting to watch more Delta Force Rise series, just tune in every single Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the next 5 weeks, folks. It's nice and easy. But let's talk about the teams. Big shout out to Marino and the boys, Fernandez, Tommy Ozo. These guys were really playing a different game than most last we watched them yesterday, DK. They were really aggressive, but they took kind of these weird alternate angles that people weren't expecting. They'd show up really, really late to some of the team fights, but it ended up paying off. They had some solid amount of points across the board and ended up being some of the top fraggers on the day.
Yeah, I mean, Tamiozo definitely doing quite a bit of work, as we saw there. Fernandez also just cracking quite a few amazing strategies and plays yesterday. But, I mean, this is essentially what we want to see, right? The players stepping up and blowing us away with what they can bring onto the battlefield here. Is we have quite a bit of a lineup. And from what we saw yesterday from all 3 of these teams, I'm very excited to see what it's going to look like once they step up against the side of Group A. And I mean, I don't know if I have a favorite group, right? I can just tell you that it is the best team is going to be the one at the end of the day from these 2 groups to sit at the top. Who that is, I don't know yet.
Well, big shout out to Leviathan. These guys were shooting different yesterday. I mean, they are some of the top fraggers in the entire group stages thus far. They had 21 kills, which was ridiculous throughout the course of their, I believe it was 6 games that we ended up playing. And so I'm really proud of these guys. They actually have some of the lowest playtime comparatively, but they've picked up the game, especially the competitive game, very quickly. And they just frankly just shoot straight. So got out of some really bad situations, somehow on top and extracting. It was wild to watch. But let's talk a little bit about MW. There were glimpses of greatness from these players. Pildora making some really strong flanks, finding kills when you weren't expecting them. But they unfortunately had a pretty lackluster last day of competition. They struggled a bit when it came to getting mantle bricks. They struggled a bit with staying alive and extracting. And because of that, they found themselves at the bottom of the leaderboard. MW desperately need to step up today and earn some points if they want to make sure that they're not down at the bottom of the group stages going into week 2.
Yeah, I mean, they know exactly what they need to do to ensure that they can keep on staying in the swing of things. And of course, the fortunate part is that there's 4 weeks, right? So there's multiple opportunities for them just to continue to hammer away and secure those points. And of course, based on what we've seen in this first week, nothing, right? They just warming up. We've not really even seen what these teams are going to be doing. This is them like getting accustomed to the pressure. And once they lock in, I think we are going to be in for quite a ride, especially when Spacestation Gaming ventures forward and kills Zilla and Too Easy makes their way onto the field.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are the top team in the game right now. They are the top of the leaderboard in terms of group stage points. They won their last match in pretty handed fashion. They are top slayers. They get bricks. I think our interview with Killzall was so telling with it. He said, he was like, we take the game into our own hands. We're not going to rely on anybody else. So shout out to Spacestation Gaming. And also I want to shout out Nightmare. These guys really stood up to the test of some of the top teams in the game and still were out fragging some of the top teams in the game. They were the top fraggers of their match. They had 21 total kills as an entire team. Really strong stat lines from all of these players. Equal plays stood out amongst the rest, though, making heroic plays as an individual. Solo 1v2s, 1v3s. Watch out for equal plays on the map. He's been a veteran in the space here with Delta Force operations for a very long time. And with Farmer Lucas and DW on his team, Deathwing, Nightmare is a very scary squad. Quick shout out to Liquids, by the way. I think we skipped over them a little bit. Saw their graphics a moment ago. Jada Vi's been casting over this guy for years. Megalist is what we call him. Meg will be using that bow almost assuredly. If Meg's shooting today, you better duck and hide, and you can't even peek Megalith went crazy. I think 10 kills total as an individual. Let's talk map rotation though, folks. If you're tuning in for day 3 and day 3 only, this may look a slightly unfamiliar, but this will be the case for all of the Delta Force Rise series matches. We're going to tie Prison assuredly on round 3, and then round 7, you will see the team in last select between Brakkesh and Space City. And here's a look at all of our operators, because we are on Season Echo. You do see Morse, and of course we know the limitations that you will see of only 2 operators per team, for each operator rather. You can only choose it twice per team. So we're going to Zero Dam, expecting to see Raptor, D-Wolf. Vlinder has been a popular choice as well here, DK. Any other thoughts on the comp meta for Zero Dam, or maybe what you want to see from some of these players to kick things off?
I just want to see some mega plays, right? And I think for the viewers that don't understand what we're talking about when we talk about Meg, is Meg is the only player that steps onto the battlefield with a compound bow in hand, not as a troll, to hit shots like you can't believe, right? We saw that yesterday. Meg just hitting a full team wipe with a compound bow. I mean, you've got M7s in here, you've got AWMs. Up comes Meg with a compound bow. It's like, you know, that's nice, that's cute. Let me show you how it's done. Insane. I mean, I'm here for that. I want to see how these players are going to look to just blow us away with their performances. And of course, what better map to start it on with other than heading straight into Zero Dam for our very first eco run.
I love it. I'm pumped to jump straight into Zero Dam, folks. Economy rounds. What do you expect to see? Well, one, if you loot up, do wall breaker, there's a bunch of different things you can grab we'll talk about. Main thing I'm expecting to see is some dang fighting, man. There are so many points on the line of these eco rounds, and that eco is best served by getting kills. And if you can get kills and extract, then bang, you're going to be having a fantastic day. So watch out for some early engagements, especially around admin. Let's take a look at our T1 spawners. Does look like it's Space Station Gaming. Going to get tier 1 spawn again on Zero Dam, and it's going to be Leviathan. That is going to be a wild fight to kick things off in admin. Leviathan in green today, Space Station Gaming in that classic yellow. Watch out for the admin fights while everybody else rotates from wherever they spawned.
Yeah, it is going to be go, go, go. I like the fact that both Leviathan and, of course, Space Station getting right down to business as they rush forward into admin. But all the other groups all going into their respective locations, right? You can see Barracks being occupied, same going for Cement Plant. Major also getting a little bit of focus there, and Visitors also getting looted up. So I like the approach here, right? The team's not necessarily putting a lot of emphasis on the aggression. They are also putting a little bit of focus on that loot as well. As we know, you have to find that balance. Yes, this is the eco round. Yes, you get a lot of points for aggression. But let's see some of the extraction part as well.
Yeah, I mean, look at the operators really quickly. We see Raptor on every single team. This makes a ton of sense. Raptor gets so much value on Zero Dam. D-Wolf on almost every single team. Yeah, every team besides Leviathan, if I'm reading that correctly. Leviathan electing to go for Viren, another assault operator. So everything looking about standard across the board for all these players. And be paying attention to, oh, Meg pulling 2 mil off screen. Not even an admin. Liquids was, I think somewhere total. Where is Liquids even at? Where are they pulling that? Is that Visitor Center? Holy cow. All right. What an insane pull trophy. 2 million to kick off the game.
Huh. I have one of those in my stash as well. So now I feel like my own version of a Meg. I've got the same trophy. Wow. Either which way, I can't hit the shots like Meg does. But let's see what is going to be happening here with Leviathan, as they are going to go toe-to-toe now with SSG. I like that Allura rocket, or that was rather the Raptor bird that they sent over to just scout out the opposing side. Nice little bit of that D-Wolf play as well. And for the time being, the rest of the lobby just kind of respecting the fight, right? Everybody just going about their business. Nobody is going to look to push up in towards admin just yet. So I think this puts SSG and Leviathan in a really good position, right? They can really focus on getting this play secured, working through the tactics, and only one of them is going to make it out of this in one piece.
Yeah, this is not odd. It's just a lot of the other teams are a little bit slow to rotate. Sometimes you'll see teams that spawn at Substation, for instance, or even Visitors immediately sprint up towards admin to try to come third party this inevitable fight that we know will happen. But for now, like you mentioned, they are alone. So it's a big moment for them to take a true 3v3, and winning out in admin not only secures you 3 kills, which is 2.4 mil, but it also secures you the rest of the loot in this high value POI. But we've seen a standoff here many a times. You all probably been in a standoff here many a times when it comes to Zero Dam. So no surprise to see a few trading of blows, but nobody falling yet.
Also, a good and healthy exchange here from either side, but at some point, one of these teams needs to just suck it up and push on forward. It does seem like Leviathan is going to try and test the wood. As you can see, Socio is going to be moving a little bit closer. Eclipse holding that edge position right alongside him. But I like what Widows is doing as well, right? Venturing down onto that lower level. And it does seem like the entirety of SSG is up top, so there could be an opportunity for a bit of a backstab. Oh, but too easy, getting clapped on down.
Too easy down. Bad news. Leviathan could full sin this. Currently, like you mentioned, there are a couple folks interested in maybe third-party this, but not for a while. You have the player advantage. You've got to make a push here. You can just wait for some of your utility to come off cooldown, maybe. You see Leviathan likely use... You have Toxic ult to potentially use. They still have Viren, could come swinging in. But it looks like Sky's trying to answer back with a Viren ult of his own. Gonna have to back off, feeling a ton of pressure right now. Great util and great aggression from the side of Leviathan. I told you, these guys like to swing and like to fight. Skies does find a great angle. Nice prone out there from Leviathan Eclipse to stay up. Skies almost caught somebody through the smoke without intel. That was nuts.
I think sometimes they're just too good for their for their own best. They just hit shots where they're not supposed to. But let's see how this one goes. The Skies is now just pushing closer on towards Widows. And I like that change up, but in the meantime, we do see some coffee coming out there as Nightmare is going to be looting it up over in the cement plant. The airdrop also is on the ground. Up comes FX taking off those scabs as they move in. And Fernandez now is going to show us what's inside. Ooh, there's a nice little weapon over there.
Yeah, as per the usual, the first airdrop is the most important. It's going to drop the A to BM and the aim and A2, but we got a big fight on our hands. Looks like Socio Legend and Leviathan have just wiped SSG and didn't even lose a player. Down go the Titans. Space Station Gaming with a very surprising first team full wipe. Top of the leaderboard team out early is great news for everybody else, but here comes MW trying to show up for a third party, and unfortunately, not too late, but late enough to where at least Leviathan can shoot back. With Widows down, though, and not able to be revived, not yet. This is great news for MW. Barely creeping and crawling away from that triple blaster. They could potentially stick this res with this amount of smoke in the air. And maybe use Viren ult here to try to knock people down, back them off. They stick the res, and it's a 3v3. That's what they're doing.
Oh, nice play here. As you can see, the pressure just absolutely getting stacked up. MW is so relentless. But as we know, they are here to prove something, right? They want to try and reclaim their position on those rankings, so they are trying to double down, but a good push coming through from Socio. Night cheeky slide, but not going to be enough, though. Down he goes!
Down he goes, but he's taking two with him. This is the freest win I've ever seen from Leviathan. He just laced two in almost all three members by himself out in the open, not missing a shot. Socio picks up the cleanups, and now Rapid is just taking the brunt of a full frontal assault from Leviathan. One player down, trying to bait out Rapids while they're resing, but they've got one covering it. As much as he might be able to trade one, he's going to go down. Down goes MW. 2 full team wipes for Leviathan to kick off Zero Dam. Talk about some economy. DK, that's 4.8 mil, and that's 6 points. Good grief, that's an 8-point swing, and we're only 8 minutes into this game.
Yeah, I mean, they mean business, right? They are not holding back, just packing it in here. But this is exactly what we want to see coming into that second day of play, right? Teams trying to drastically improve their overall point situation. The only way to get that done is to make sure that you play one banger of the round, and that seems to be the case here. Now it's going to be Fernandez stepping it up here. You got to watch out. He's got that AWM in hand. Could come whamming through with a few hits. Fortunately, though, for the lobby, he only has 5 rounds. No more than that. So
5 rounds.
Be very careful.
Yeah, 5 rounds is not a ton. It's enough to do a ridiculous amount of damage, but you really want to save these for mana break rounds, in my opinion. I mean, a kill is a kill, and those points, like we talked about, can't emphasize enough how valuable they are, but ideally, you'd like to save these for some future rounds, give you some advantages to get those mana bricks, which are the most important thing in the game. Nightmare, though, catching maybe a few shots on the back end of this fight, and There's one bullet. That's 100K up into the wind. Fortunately, not landing where he wants it to.
Well, if it doesn't land where he wants it to, you're just going to have to try that again. Speaking of which, though, it's going to be Lucas just scouting things out. Boom goes the camera. But that is going to be putting Nightmare in a little bit of a difficult situation here. As you can see, they are going to get pressured, but the sprays are on the money here. As Ehumura is going to be hit, quickly dealt with. Now Lucas can look to just rush up onto the back end here of FX.
Classic signal flare. They've got the advantage. Player advantage means we fly at our opponents. FX in trouble, taking a bit of damage through the smoke. They're going to run and hide. They don't want to take this fight. At least not in a position where they don't feel like they have any sort of advantage. But look at the cover, the flank. DW has full wrapped on this fight. What a brilliant play from Nightmare. They've set up a flawless execution of it. Fernandez, you just got to get that full. There you go. That's a free point for FX. A nice trade. We take those. They will get cut down. That is a full wipe. But Fernandez at least having the wherewithal to turn and burn and make sure he gets at least 1 point for it. Get a decent amount of value for that. But even still, great setup from Nightmare.
Yeah. And looking at the clock, there is still a potential opportunity for one of our teams to try and play for an extract, right? I mean, looking at Leviathan, they do have 4.2 mil in profits, so they could definitely look to bag up a few more if they can get their hands on it. But sitting with 6 kills in the back pocket already is going to just bring them so much of that eco that they could need moving into the later few phases. And now it's just where things start to dial back a little bit. Meg just putting a little bit of distance between himself and the sprays coming through from Leviathan. But in the meantime, right, Nightmare, they are having a good little session down on that far southern edge. And now it relieves Leviathan and, of course, LSZ to do exactly what they need to do. Papi, though, is going to be keeping a very close eye on the wall here. Doesn't want to get or allow Widows really to get a good position on them.
3 teams full wipe. Listen, I told everybody while we were talking about the teams, these are some of the aggressive teams that are moving over to play against each other this time. We were going to move quick. And we've had a bunch of team fights already, so we got half the lobby left. But Liquids haven't found hardly anything in the kill category. They just picked up that trophy for 2 mil to start things off at Visitor Center. So some nice loot luck, but they don't have the extra points that the rest of these teams have. Nightmare have 3 points already. Leviathan have 6 points already just from the kills. So Liquids would really like to get a couple kills here, wipe one of these other 2 teams so they can keep their spot near the top of the leaderboard given the amount of loot they have.
So they know what they need to do, right? They have one main objective in mind here. It does seem like there is going to be quite a bit of focus potentially placed towards that southern side where we see Nightmare just lying in wait. Not quite sure if LSZ is going to full send it there, but it's going to be Leviathan following down down into that position. They are going to spot each other out on the side. Here goes Meg with those compound bow hits, just trying to lock him in. Gotta watch out. It is silent, but it is deadly.
That did a ton of damage on Widows there with the shot over the top. And just spam these down range and hope they land. Somebody weak enough, a couple errant bullets could change things here. Jadavi's a little bit under pressure, gonna have to back up and heal. Clip's having to repair as well. So an interesting fight. Not a crazy amount of cover here. You're kind of trying to play these sightlands around the palm trees and then just play around your smokes and util. Smoke goes out, baiting out a ton of shots. Nothing really landing, but Leviathan, they've got a nice flank here, Socio Legend, but Meg has read this completely. As long as Meg hits the shots and sees him. No, looking slightly off angle. Nice shot from Meg. The Megalith strikes again, looking to land 2, unfortunately gets traded out.
All they gotta do now is just double down. Just gotta try and find that angle. LSZ, a little bit of a troubling position. Could still maybe bring the rest of the team back into the fight here, but it's gonna be very slim pickings. In the meantime, it is going to be Lucas that gets that extraction all the way down to the south, getting that paid extract. Now, Nightmare starting to push up from that southern edge as well. As you can see, DW trying to keep the pressure as high as he can. And this is going to be go, go, go. As a 2v2v1 is going to be trying to just contest for some kind of resolution right outside the substation.
Oh... Unfortunately, yes, Jadavi's goes down, but Widows is actually able to steal away that kill before Nightmare can come get involved. A nice pickup from Leviathan. I believe Leviathan, I think they have 9 kills. Is that not 3 full team wipes they've been able to pick up? This is an unbelievable start. And a nice swing from Deep W gets one fold. The other week, Nightmare trying to catch up to Leviathan, who are running away with map number 1. They have a ridiculous amount of points. And if they were to stay alive and win this as well and get out, they would have an unbelievable start. Scav shooting over, trying to do a little bit of damage. And Eclipse is just waiting and knowing that somebody's about to swing through the smoke. Wow.
Quite a bit of a standoff that we are having here over on the edge. But with only 2 squads left, right? I mean, Nightmare again trying to make as much profit as they can. As you can see, Equal now just trying to put that distance in, and Socio just getting absolutely bombarded with the scavs. And they are quite relaxed, so I can understand that feeling. But now it's up to Leviathan to show us what their intention is here, right? Are they going to try and maybe flush it out, get that full finish? Or are they going to try and make something happen here? Because they could, if they are really quick about it, still pull the lever and go for that elevator extract.
I think we may be running out of time here on that. I mean, right now, if we can just get kills, that is so worth it. Like, their gear isn't worth that much in round 1. I'd be going for a kill, and I think Equal plays is thinking the same. He's going to try to wrap this and be a hero for the team. Nightmare, by the way, if you didn't notice, they did send one player out. Farmer Lucas went out through the bottom of the map. So because they did that, I want to say they were able to pick up, I'm guessing, the AWM. And they sent Farmer Lucas out with it to protect it for future rounds. We'll take a look at that later, but Equal plays under a bit of pressure is going to back up. A couple things to consider here is that, well, one, he doesn't want to give away any points, but he also has nothing else to do on the map, so he likes to take this fight. Unfortunately, Equal plays, yes, very good. Yes, can win 1v multiples, but a 1v3 against some of the heaviest fraggers in the game right now, this is going to be a tough one, DK.
Yeah, it's not advised at this point, right? It's just purely outnumbered. If this was pubs, maybe, right? I'd say, well, it's Equal. Go for it. Go have some fun, right? But no, not this time around. So yeah, he definitely has to play a lot more of a calculated position here. And it's all about just kind of keeping himself out of reach of Leviathan, right? Trying to deny them that point. Also, maybe looking to see if you can find another 100k somewhere, just to try and help push that profit up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's true. Rounds down, so 3.9 is still only 1 point, whereas 4 million is 2. But as much as we love profits, I can't even believe I'm about to say these words. I believe Leviathan are on double-digit kills here on Zero Dam in map 1. There are teams that hardly get to double digits in an entire 7-game series when they're struggling. This is dominant performance for Leviathan.
Yeah, I think this is one of the very instances that we see a team with 10 kills secured. And I mean, this is the first round, right? It's not one of the sweaty rounds like when we hop over onto Space City or something like that. This is the start of the day. I mean, that's an immense amount of points that they are securing for themselves right off of the bat there. And I mean, not even to mention that dynamic kill bonus that they get as well, right? So they're gonna be smiling at the end of today.
You see Eclipse is going to head out, make sure that they're able to protect some of their loot value again. Nobody was able to pull the lever in time. So they're going to be trading some reds back and forth, finding a few things, seeing what they can stash in their safe box, and go from there. Equal plays, looking for anything he can get his hands on in the last 10 seconds. But an unbelievable map from Leviathan. The ability to slay out almost the entirety of this lobby, it felt like. Equal play is able to stay up, not wanting to give them any more points than they've already earned. My goodness. Nightmare, a nice team fight and a nice win to kick things off in their engagement. Equal play showing us what it looks like to dance and dance on the haters. But Leviathan, all calm, cool, and collected. And frankly, Socio Legend is a hero, man. That guy went unbelievable on the map.
Yeah, some pretty epic plays. I'm pretty sure Mega's also an absolute monster when it comes to trigonometry or something. Have to be, right? With the compound bow doing what he's doing.
My
makes
gosh.
sense. 10 kills on board, 2.4 mil in the bag as well. And we're back to 2021.
Yeah, I mean, over 2,000 damage on a zero dam map. It did look like pubs, DK. I mean, this was a utter stomp. Folks, that is 10 points just from kills in the very first round. And then each of those kills are 800K. That's 8 mil added to their total, plus 2.4 mil assets gained. That's another 5 points in terms of their stash value that they're going to be walking away with moving into the next round. This is like a 15-point round. It's game one. Nobody's going to be even close to them. The second place is going to be like 5 points.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, they've just been cooking it up so much. And I mean, then you look on the other side of the board, right? Spacestation and MW, unfortunately, going to be taken out here with not a single kill to their name. And of course, this all started with Spacestation, Leviathan up in admin, right? That is, Leviathan decided to just move in, take Spacestation out, and that was the end of the story for them. But fortunately, though, right, LSZ as well as Fluxo also managing to get themselves a little bit of something before coming to the end of their run here. Nightmare. Farmer Lucas with that sneaky extract. 2.6 mil in the back. Definitely going to help quite a bit.
Socio Legend by himself had 6 kills. This guy is now individual top fragger in the entire group stages already. With the plus kills here, a ridiculous stat line from this kid. Leviathan is doing something I've never seen done to kick things off, and I don't want to understate it. So let's keep looking at the rest of the stats, because it's going to be all Socio Legend all day. Top damage, over 1,000 damage by himself. Woo, buddy. Looking good.
Yeah. Bucket loads and bucket loads of damage getting brought through. Interesting thing that I'm wondering about, and we'll probably talk about that once we are done with the graphics here, is of course where that AWM went to. But speaking about the top assist though, look at this. It is just Leviathan all over the place, right? Widows, Eclipse, and the Socio Legend. Makes a whole lot of sense looking at the sheer volume of chaos that they were causing out in our very first round here for day number 3. Absolutely amazing pacing from them. But of course, then the top assets, right? We already mentioned that Bomber Lucas getting the extract, bagging the 2.6 mil, really helping the team set up that eco.
Yeah, no, totally agree. And then Meg, remember, Liquid's found a trophy down in Visitor Center. So that's that 2 mil there in the safe box. And then Eclipse was able to get out via, I think, weight restricted at the top. So in general, great job from everybody. But it was a Leviathan game, and they're the only ones we really should be lauding, because they had over triple anybody else's kills. Socio Legend, no question about it. MVP, 6 total kills as an individual, over 1K damage, and picks up over a 250,000 assets gained just in the safe box alone. So really good job from this guy. And as a team, you saw the amount of assists they had. They were playing together as a team. They won all their team fights, and that just wins you the game. It is pretty simple when it comes down to the Delta Force Rise series. We talk about how valuable kills are, and you're seeing it right there on main stage. DK, what a way to kick this thing off, man.
It was insane. Absolutely insanity. I mean, if day 1 or day 2 was to give us any potential setup for today, I still wouldn't have guessed that it would go the way it just did, right? Absolute brutality. But yeah, I wonder what happened to the AWM that FX was able to find. Did it make it out? That is going to be the big question.
I'm pretty sure Nightmare, Farmer Lucas, after they wiped them, they were able to grab that AWM and then get out of the map with it. A great and smart extract from Nightmare. Big shout out to all the fans of Nightmare in the chat. I'm seeing you all spamming and loving that team. We'll see if they can step up to the challenge to take down Leviathan with the way they're kicking things off today, folks. We're going to head to a very short break. While we do, get your popcorn. It's going to be all aggression, all gas, no breaks for the course of today. Game 2 right around the corner.
Members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little... So hang on a second, NL! Look at that! It's an absolute sweat! This... And LG's gotta know that they're here! Lines them up, even through the shock, you're nuts! The last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Helm's gonna be hopping off that.
I'll get you out of here.
The enemy got the mantle bricks. Find it. Stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first mantle brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Not gonna do very much though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There's so much damage from there it is.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series, Day 3, Week 1 of the Americas region, and Leviathan kick us off with a bang. They pick up 10 kills in the first game, folks. We're just now moving into our first mantle brick round here with game number 2 in just a moment. DK, this leaderboard's about to look insane as we start our second game of this event.
Yeah, there's been some pretty hard cooking out on our very first round, and here we have it. Leviathan going through with 17 squad points, 10 of which has come through from the kills, and they are heads and
my gosh,
shoulders ahead the competition.
Ridiculous totals, man. It actually makes me laugh. Nearly double Nightmare, who picked up still a very respectable 9 points on that map. And then well over, what, quadruple? Is that how math works? I think it is. Liquids, who is technically in 3rd place overall. That amount of squad points to kick things off is gigantic for a couple of reasons. One, really sets them up for success into future events, right? Or future rounds, rather. They're able to win tiebreakers left, right, and center, but they also are rich. You got to remember, that's 8 mil just from the kills alone, let alone some of the loot value they were able to bring out and some of the loot they were able to protect by getting at least one player extracted. So they've got way more money than everybody else, and they just picked up a bunch of real life cash for all of those kills. I mean, that was like a $300 round for Socio Legend. He had 6 kills. 6 times 50 is $300, folks. He just made some cash just playing the game. We're moving into Brakkesh though. DK, talk to me about metas. Talk to me about what we can expect.
Well, of course, Brakkesh is where we want to see a little bit of a change up, right? It is not going to be exactly that initial play that we saw over on towards Zero Dam. So we're considering, of course, that mantle brick that is going to come into play as well, right? So we are going to be seeing potentially a lot of that Uluru because it has quite a bit of value when it comes to a map where there is a mantle brick at play. It really helps with defense. We could see Shepard also coming in. We've seen Raptors being pretty much standard, right? The team's going to try and capitalize on that. Essentially anything that you could use to try and just lock it down. But at the same time, we still have those airdrops that are going to be coming in as well. And of course, here we have it, right? All the engineers essentially being that main predominant focus, as we've got Gizmo and Uluru, as well as Morse for that recon, and just playing quite a bit of a disruptive position.
Yeah, you'll expect to see all 3 of these operators for sure. And I like that you mentioned Raptor. Definitely see a couple teams repping a Raptor. Here's a quick look at the spawns. And as a reminder of the way the spawns work, if you got T1 spawns in the last round, you can't get it back-to-back rounds. So you won't be seeing SSG or Leviathan in the priority spawns around the Royal Museum. Mid-map, Royal Museum is where that mantle brick spawns. And it's also one of the crowd favorite decoding stations, a stone's throw away from where that mantle brick spawns on the map. So Museum is going to get real active. So active, in fact, some of the teams that spawn T2 down to New Tower Babel, they just leave and they go for Museum and they go to play for fights. Kills matter a lot in this format, folks, so let's jump into Brakkesh. Last reminder, too, airdrops are on this map now as well, so you're going to have a lot of objectives on Brakkesh. Not only airdrops with AWM or the M82, but also the mantle brick that we're going to be playing for. A lot to play for. Round 2, always a banger. Let's jump straight into it and see who's playing what and how they're going to play it, and how aggressive will they be after A round one banger that we had. Here we go. Does look like two teams have invested a Tempest into this round, both FX and MW, looking to try to gain some early advantage by using Tempest on a first Mantle Brick round. They'll be one of the only two teams that are going to be able to use that old EED, the emergency evasion device, to steal the brick nice and easily with that tether.
And it's crazy to think that both these teams with the Tempest are both the T1 spawn teams, right? It's like
True.
it was written. It just happened to be. So curious to see how they are going to look to play through this, as Ohimura is going to be just popping a few hits across the way, just trying to keep the players there from MW at bay. We still have a little bit of time left on the clock until that Mantle Brick becomes available, and then it is going to be a quick rush and a big fight over that Mantle Brick to see who is able to claim possession of it. Meanwhile, Papi is going to be popping some coffee there as he finds a few good reds.
Every game, but Nightmare first to the brick and completely unconned because there was a fight happening inside. So both of the teams inside got kind of harried by each other, and Nightmare just swoop in, grab the brick, and leave. Got some intel from him, but great play from Nightmare, and they're getting the heck out of Dodge. No museum decoding station today. They're on the run. Now, SSG have actually caught them in rotation. I'm not sure if they're going to find an angle to get a knock, but they're going to throw some damage down. Well-placed nade or two. Could see somebody fall. Nightmare, though, all gas, sprint away. Come chase us, SSG. We're going to get out of here, and they're going to be headed up to the Astara camp, potentially decoding station. The Spacestation Gaming really want to try to play this fight, maybe before the brick even goes down.
Yeah, I mean, we did see the Evil Geniuses also play this position in their day. So this is going to be a very exciting decode happening here, as SSG is wasting no time, as you said, right? Trying to stop this push even before it becomes a thing. Trying to get onto that Mantle Brick as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, the decode has already started off. So, yeah, doesn't seem like Nightmare are going to be too invested on defending it right now, as they just wanted to get it into play. And that is exactly what happened. We do see a good few of those red meds coming through as well. Will allow for a little bit more of a continuation of these fights. But SSG now, they've reclaimed it. It's in control, and they mean business. They want to try and back that very first Mantle Brick.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting to see Nightmare. They basically just chose a decoding station and were like, hey, this is where we want to fight. It doesn't mean we need to be in control of it, like you mentioned. They're not trying to defend it. They just wanted to plan it and then back off. Interesting play. I think in general, I like the idea, but you're kind of stuck in a 3v3 until somebody else shows up, which is why Nightmare's not playing for this yet. Spacestation Gaming now have the power position. Nightmare felt like they were on their heels, so they're waiting. When somebody else comes over here and starts getting aggressive, you'll see Nightmare come up and third party this, so at least they can't just be caught a true 3v3 where traditionally the team that is already set up kills all in probably one of the strongest spots on the map. Traditionally for an engineer, they'll do some deployable cover builds as well up there. But for now, all quiet. Nightmare waiting on somebody else, and FX haven't moved. The closest team to be able to play for this. The other team that could potentially wrap this way, DK, is probably going to be Leviathan, but they got a long way to go. They came from all the way down at the Tower of Babel. They got to go up the entire eastern side of the map to even get to the brick.
Yeah, it'll be a long, tedious trek. I hope they back to their lunch boxes, because it's going to be a hot minute until they get there. But it does seem like MW are going to be looking to venture down south now. Might be trying to focus on a little bit of that loot, though. Leviathan doing a pretty good job as they start their approach. SSG, though, Skies has spotted them out and is really focused on trying to kind of just keep them over towards the sun side. Doesn't want to get them to come all too close. Out goes the boat, though, and that is going to give the side Leviathan a pretty good idea exactly to focus their efforts.
Yeah, FX are thinking about moving up, but we have to pay attention to Nightmare. That's exactly right. They are moving towards the brick finally. They sat here and waited 2 minutes, and now that at least they hear a few shots, they're going to try to get aggressive. Too easy. Definitely knows they're coming. Kills all the same. There's that cover I was talking about. He's in a really strong position. We need Leviathan to pinch up on this right now as well. 60 seconds. There's like a lifetime in this game, but enough chaos and enough util. Some of your things might be on cooldown when you're needing it most in the final seconds of this decode. First brick is a huge one. And Equal Plays knows it. Slowly but surely, Nightmare pushed up right next to the brick. And it looks like Equal Plays is going to go for the stick. He's on top of it. In the meantime, Meg and Liquids have found the AWM off screen, and it does allow Nightmare, with a little incendiary over the top and Easy taking a bit of damage. Nightmare is able to get the steal and reset the timer. Great job from them. They want to slow things down.
Let's see how much slowing they'll be able to do right here, as it's still going to be a little bit of an angle for them to try and fight through, right? Leviathan still decently positioned up ahead of them, but we do see that retake coming through now from SSG as they just bring the decode back into their favor.
Goodness.
Up comes the play though. A little bit of birdie told me something's going to happen here. SSG just making sure, again, that they know exactly where to focus their efforts, as well as you can see Leviathan just having to back off the damage, really hitting hard this time around.
Yeah, MW doing a great job of pinching Leviathan. They have nowhere to run. SSG's up by the brick. Leviathan were trying to come third party this, but MW came in super late behind them from Tower of Babel. They swung all the way south, wrapped behind, and picked up one member of Leviathan. Leviathan down to a duo, the only team missing a player right now. And we got plenty of time on the brick because it's exchanged hands only a couple of times. Jade of Eyes lines one up, knocks down Nightmare, as it does look like Liquids are coming in from the north. We have a giant layer cake sandwich, everybody shooting each other, and SSG and Leviathan are the ones in the middle. We'll see who stands tall at the end of it. Leviathan maybe trying to stick a res here, and MW hear it. Rapids thinking some Utah over the top could stop it, and he's right, but FX now joining the party. It's a conga line. Do you want to be in the middle or you want to be on the edge? I definitely want to be on the edge and lead the line to see if I can take it all the way to the finish line. Here goes Nightmare, equal plays, looking to find 2/3 of the remaining team of Liquids up above. Trying to find an angle on Poppy, or maybe Jade of Eyes inside. All I know is we're looking for kills. We got to shoot straight if we want them. Liquid looking very low right now, as equal plays has to back off and heal up as well.
Yeah, but he's not going to be backing off too far just yet, as he's already good to go once more. Now it's up to DW, following the pattern here, looking to see can they just get over the angles and full force it. Equal though is going to get dropped on down. DW
gotta commit.
Tries to clutch it up, but unfortunately gets absolutely denied right then and there.
In the meantime of that chaos, there was so much fighting happening at the same time. We weren't able to catch it all. Leviathan wiped. Nightmare wiped on screen. MW in trouble, but not out yet. Here we go. Space Station Gaming, FX, last alive on this side. Liquids on the other side. MW did actually get full wiped by FX, who are now moving up fully healthy, but there's only 7 seconds on the clock. This decode is going to go through. SSG are holding the line. And sometimes, I guess just this time, being dead center of this gigantic club sandwich means that you're going to eat it all and you're going to take it home. Get the brick for free. Nobody was able to push up through the different layers. That was a wild situation on the eastern side of the map. All 6 teams playing for the brick and only 3 are left.
Absolute insanity. Yet again, the teams have zero chill here today, and that is exactly the way we like it. Teams getting right down to business, but the good thing that we are looking at here is that all 3 squads are absolutely fully stacked with it, right? SSG with that Mandel brick in tow is going to open up the whole play here for them for the remainder of the day, but now still points to try and capitalize on is going to be focusing on the kills, looking to get aggressive and bag everything you can. Let's see what's in here. Ooh,
nice.
Those wooden structures coming through, and that is definitely going to help out a heap when it comes to getting the gold armor.
Yeah, it's a big win there for SSG, not only getting the brick, but we saw it in the kill field where we were waiting on some of the chaos to start. They were able to take down the boss, and those lucky wooden sculptures, we talked about those often, but a new concept into the game with this new series, a new format. You can collect those by killing the bosses on each respective map. Nice reds as well, picking up graphics card. In the meantime, we take those. Those lucky wooden sculptures can be used in exchange for gold armor. Pick up a couple vouchers for a couple 100K. Use those lucky wooden sculptures and you can exchange for gold armor. It's one of the only other ways you can get gold armor besides buying it once per match. So really a big ticket item that they're able to find there, and well earned. But man, the chaos had me even in a blender of all 6 teams lined up in a single file line fighting each other. SSG in the middle. Get the brick, nearly uncontested. So wild to watch, but Space Station Gaming, they always find their way to the top, and they will be at the top of the leaderboard no matter what happens for the rest of this 8-minute game.
Yeah, we love ourselves a little bit of insanity, and that is what the teams are giving us by the earful here, as we can see everybody getting ready for a little bit of something. But it's going to be Killzone just quietly moving up onto Museum, where FX are just going all over the place. Uh-oh. Fernandez heard something. He knows that there could be a player just on the other side. A quick push coming through from Killzone. Quick distraction, and luckily for Fernandez, he's quick with the reaction.
That was such a funny way to use the Allure rocket. Throws it up, caused so much of a visual disturbance. The FX player just sprints away, and there's enough visual clutter that Killzone couldn't even land the shots on the player running away. He's able to get out. Rocket down on cooldown, but very close to picking up a nice freebie and giving themselves player advantage in this fight. Would have been nice.
Talk about the players getting creative, right? They just really use everything there is in ways that we've not really thought of ourselves. But that is why we watch them as well, right? We learn as they learn. So let's see what is going to be happening here. SSG, though, just doing a quick little bit of a scan, looking to see if there are any available opportunities with just over 6 minutes on the clock. Meg, again with the compound bow, just hitting the shots.
I mean, to be fair, player was standing still. They weren't expecting the bow to pop out and one-shot you, but that's the way it goes these days. Fernandez in a ton of pressure right now from a couple different angles. Doing the pressure from the low side and high side, unsure of which way they're going to push. In the meantime, Liquids are sending one of their players out of the map. They're going to keep 2 on the map. Meg looking to get real mixy with the bow, and unfortunately misses the first shot, so has to run and hide down the stairs. Very quick to evade these shots, but not quick enough. Yeah, not going to be quick enough. Fernandez will answer back and get a trade.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no bow that's going to save you from that. Up comes Skills, although also in hot pursuit, chasing down the play. Quick and efficient hit onto Fernandez. Absolute insane things happening here. But I love the way it is all unfolding here. That was actually Uhemura that got taken on down. But now, right, LSZ, they still have 1 player up. They did manage to bag themselves an extract here. But SSG, though, they are going to go all in on this.
Oh no, Liquid's down as well. SSG win the map, get the mantle brick. Last team remaining, get the wooden sculptures. I mean, the only thing you could have asked for was like a hair more kills, but they still got a ton of them. So this is about as good as it gets for SSG in game number 2. They'll be top of the leaderboard, and they'll be closing the gap between themselves and Leviathan, who had a really frustrating map number 2. Luckily, they have plenty of buffer with what they were able to do in map 1. Things will be a little bit closer in the squad points category at the very least between SSG and Leviathan.
Yeah, it's now definitely shifting up quite a bit here, but the big thing that I'm curious about is what exactly SSG is going to look to do here. I mean, is there going to be enough time to maybe start an extract to see if that is going to be feasible for them? Or is just going to try and cram those 3x3s with everything of value that they can find? Because looking at the profits, they are sitting on 6.4 mil currently, almost 7.
Yeah, I should be able to pop that up a little bit higher too if they can pick up all these dog tags potentially, or any reds that they can find on the map. Piece and part all the weapons, and then get out. Solid value from the map and the kills there it'll pick up. Again, SSG getting everything they wanted and more from that map. And again, it all started with Nightmare. Nightmare was the ones that grabbed the brick first. Once they grab the brick, they sprint away. They go all the way up to camp. And SSG were, oh, what a find on main. A little 200 key card, or gold card rather. Not too bad. I like seeing it when we're watching them loot in the inventory. It's a little bit more anticipatory than just when it pops up on the right-hand side. But no, I mean, SSG really came out on top because of all the reasons we talked about, but also they just read that map perfectly. Skies also finds the rifle, 635k. Should put them near 8 mil. They watched Nightmare bring it all the way up to camp. They followed them, traced them behind. Nightmare felt the pressure and they let it go. They also grabbed the bust here as well. Good grief. Nice luck on the map. That's 1.2 mil, baby. We're over 8 mil. That's 4 supply points just in and of itself. And they should be able to extract as well. We can see our map timer at 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Game timer at 3 minutes and 7 seconds when I stated it. So just in the nick of time, they're all going to get out with a ton of reds. Nice RNG and nice skill on display for SSG.
and great loot tactics, right? That is going to be the big main focus that they're going to be flexing on right now. But let's see just how much value they can cram into these bags. Is already they are now encroaching, or rather creeping up on that 10 mil points. That could be even more points in the bag for them.
An extra point here or there would be nice. I'm not sure how much they can optimize their bags to do that, but they do get the extra cash just from the kills, so they'll certainly have at least 5 supply points. See, Killzone has 1 kill there. That's another 800k, so that'll put them over the total. Their profits are just raw from the loot they were able to find. Really impressive. Now we just wait. Watch the players stash their bags and get to the extract. This is the first time I, honestly have seen all 6 teams play for the brick. But once all 6 teams were there, nobody was able to even steal it. They exchanged hands a couple times between SSG and Nightmare, just kind of going back and forth because they didn't want to sell. And then once the fighting actually started on both sides, everybody was just preventing everybody else from pushing up towards the mantle brick. Worked out perfectly for SSG.
Yeah, they were just having an absolute glorious time here. Doesn't seem to find anything else really of major value as the timer continues to tick down. They still have just over a minute left to continue to scout things out. Let's see whether or not... Oh, never mind. Yep, they've hit 10 mil. There we go. 10.4, 20.5. Oh,
wild.
Imagine if they hit 12, right? Is that going to happen? I don't think so, but... I mean, man, it has to be glorious just going about all the loot available on this map, and there's nobody to contest you. Your only problem is how much you can stuff into your bags.
Nice. Showcasing that bus they found. Big pull. I had a chance to do some in-person events with Delta Force, and they set up these booths where they create versions of these red items, and I actually have a picture of myself holding one of those busts in person. Brings me back to those moments. Just so cool that the game has evolved to a state where we have the Delta Force Rise series at eSports. Excited to see what the teams are able to do today, though. SSG, top of the leaderboard, nearly 11 mil extracted with, plus their kills, plus the mantle brick. They got everything they wanted from map 2, and the only team that's even contesting them on the leaderboard from squad point standpoint will be LEVIATAN, who fell fairly early in this game. Best case scenario for Spacestation Gaming. A reminder, won their last match on day 1 of week 1. So to win game number 2 here with day 3 of week 1 is gotta feel good and get them back to final form, especially because they had a frustrating map 1 today. A little bit of return to form for Spacestation Gaming, and everybody else going to have to go back to the drawing board to figure out what do we do going into the next eco round.
Yeah, I mean, the BBA is really high for Spacestation, right? Having a quick takedown over on Zero Diamond, looking to change that around entirely, absolutely speaks to the capability they have. But, of course, no surprise to see them be our best team here, right? Mantle Brick, Operator kills, 10.7 mil. And nice bit of damage to back that up as well. I mean, glorious turnout here on Brakkesh for them.
Yeah, this is great. Again, 3 kills. I keep reiterating this because sometimes math is hard, but that's 2.4 mil, folks. It's 800k per kill. So you throw that on top, and that's over 6 points that they gain just from the amount of loot that they have on the map they were able to extract with, plus those bonuses from the kills. So this is a huge boon for them, plus the extra 3 points. They're going to have some great squad points while maintaining a top position because of that mantle brick. First sort on the leaderboard is mantle brick, then it's squad points. But let's look at everybody else. We do see that Liquids ended up with a great game. Poppy had 3 kills. Team had 5 kills. Fluxo ended up with 4 kills. And a very rare only 1 kill and 0 kill game for Nightmare, LEVIATAN, and MW. All struggled in that wild push with all 6 teams. They kind of got caught in the crossfires. They were the closest teams to the mantle brick, but they were getting shot in the back the entire time, so they never were able to make a play for brick. Crazy stuff here, but Top Slayer does go to Poppy with 3 kills as an individual. Looks like also Tamiozo from FX also picked up 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day indeed. 400 damage, of course, is going to be going over towards Pildora here. As you can see, Nightmare also on the board alongside FX. So everybody trying to bring as much as they can to the party here. And of course, as we know, at the end of the day, it all counts for something, right? It helps them stack it up and make sure that they can close the gap, the point gap that we saw over on those leaderboards. So there's a lot up for grabs here. But again, looking at the top assists here as well, right? JDevice definitely looking to help carry his team forward, right? Making sure they can land those necessary hits. But at the end of the day, it is going to be Skies walking away with 4 mil in the bag. In fact, the entirety of SSG just absolutely full to the brim.
Yeah, filled to the brim. They were able to fully extract. They were able to loot all of their enemies on the map and find some reds. No surprise to see all three players as the top 3 asset earners. Okay, we're going to give MVP over to Mr. JDevice. Got a kill, a couple assists, some damage, and did pick up 2.3 mil. All right, fair enough. Change it up. Spacestation Gaming had the best map, but JDevice as an individual was a huge hero for their team. I respect the call out. By the way, Liquid's reminder, they did find that airdrop and they did find that AWM and the Lapua ammo, and they sent JDevice out of the map. That's why he had that 2.3 mil and was able to extract for his roster. So a big pickup there from Liquids, and therefore most valuable player, at least for his team.
Yeah, well, you got to do everything that you can. And what the viewers can do as well is go follow DeltaForce_game on all the social medias. Be sure to go check it out. And of course, if you've not yet downloaded the game, head over to downloaddeltaforce.com to get your hands on it on all platforms. And while you're in the website, check out that new esports tab. And of course, if you're watching on Twitch, scroll down to the panels, click on EMEA or Americas, whichever one you want to look at. Preferably Americas, because that's where we are right now, right? But all the information available for the entirety of the Rise series. So be sure to give that a good check.
Totally agree. Big shout from DK there. Check out the website, folks. We're going to head to a very short break. While we do, get your popcorn ready. Game 1, Game 2 had a lot of aggressive play, and I can only imagine it's going to be the same for Game 3. We're going to Tide Prison next. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little... So hang on a second, NL! Look at that! It's an absolute sweat! This... And Elliot's got it, though. They're here. Lines them up, even through the shot. You're nuts! For the last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Elm's gonna be hopping off to that.
Around North America, some may call me the Beast. My in-game name is Killzall, and I'm the co-captain and IGL of Team SSG. Okay, so I got into this game from a good friend that recommended a game that was similar to Battlefield, and I started off on the Warfare side around November 2025. I then quickly swapped over to Operations side not far after that, and it's been playing it ever since. So my first teammate is Brandon, aka Too Easy. He's our recon player. And my second teammate is Alex, aka Skies, and he plays our smokes. My team has evolved incredibly. We went from being a non-aggressive team, the not best shooting team, to being a demon squad. We're incredibly smart. We're cunning in our strategies, and we know our disadvantages and advantages while playing, and we use that to our best ability. What sets our team apart from the rest of the teams is honestly our game sense and our complete control of the maps that we play. We constantly try to play 3 steps ahead of the other teams, and it's been working out lately. Yeah, so one of our best chaos moments was actually in our qualifiers for Worlds last year. One of our teammates pulled out the night before our qualifier at like 2 in the morning. I messaged Too Easy. Back then he wasn't playing with us, and I asked him if he wanted to play. He agreed to. we played a couple pub matches, and then we ended up qualifying for Worlds later that week, and we got second at Worlds after that, and just keep hitting the ground running. What gets my adrenaline pumping? I don't know. I'm usually a calm and collected person, but in fights when we have the mana brick timing down below 10 seconds and we're about to win and all I need to do is kill one person on it, it usually gets my heart pounding. Some emotions hit me whenever that timer hits 0. A lot of relief, but pure happiness then. Some advice I'd give to newcomers and new players on the game is find people that you enjoy playing the game with. You don't want to be miserable playing pubs with anybody, playing any competitive with someone that you don't want to. You can always get better as a team, but chemistry is key. You need to like the people you play with. You could be the best players in the world and you could absolutely hate each other and it would suck.
Got the mantle bricks. Find and stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first hit to rig up the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, not gonna do very much. Oh. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. There it is. Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series, Day 3, Week 1, America's region, baby, and we are back. SSG and the Beast on top after Game 2. They got everything they wanted on Brakkesh. They got the mana brick, they got a couple kills, they got all the loot, and they get out of Dodge as well. Couldn't have gone better for the SSG guys winning out of Brakkesh, but a frustrating one for LEVIATAN, who just dominated map number 1 a moment ago, and they go down with hardly anything to show for it. Here's a look at the overall points after that one. You can see only 3 kill points here for SSG, but they are top of the leaderboard because they've got that mantle brick DK. LEVIATAN holding on to second place pretty assuredly, but Liquid's making a nice jump up to third.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to make some steady movement happen here. And, you got to know that, the teams on the screen are performing exceptionally well. When you've got viewers in the chat saying that starting tomorrow, they're going to start grinding Delta Force again. I mean, absolutely love it. And amazing work coming through from our squads right here in this round number 2. But of course, that was our very first mantle brick / airdrop round. Next up, we are going to be concluding our airdrops rounds as we are going to be heading straight into tight prison for a little bit of that close quarter altercations and a few challenging angles to work your way through. Excited to see what is going to be happening here. But of course, this is where we could see one operator in particular really coming to the forefront, right? That is going to be the Nox operator.
That's exactly right. You'll see double Noxes from some of our teams. You also may just see every team with at least one Nox and then likely a Hat Claw or some of our others. We've seen Gizmo. We've even seen some Morses on this map. But you all know Tide Prison is one of those maps that has a lot of sneaky corridors. You can work your way around the map silently and find angles that people weren't expecting. So what do you do to counter a Nox? You run Morse. So that's why you see both here. And of course, you're oftentimes seeing different operators like some of our engineers, like even Suniva on this map, because with close corridors and hallways, guy with a riot shield and a grappling gun that can pull you in, beat you down is pretty valuable as well. Here's a look at the spawn rotation, or prediction rather. You can see that Fluxo and MW technically had T1 spawns, and so going into the T1 spawns here for Tide Prison, you can see those two teams not on the list of who could be there. Frankly, for a map like Tide Prison, you kind of don't want the tier 1 spawns, because if you get the tier 1 spawns on Tide Prison, that means you won't have them for our first Space City map here in just a moment.
Yeah, That is going to be absolutely crucial, as we've seen quite a few teams getting those T1 spawns over on Space City, having pretty good success and early access to that mantle break, but that's not necessarily always the case, right? It still comes down to what the rest of the lobby will allow, but it is going to come down to how this tide is going to be going for now to see who will be getting all the loot and all the eco to set themselves up for the mantle break runs.
That's right. Last eco round. The only thing on this map to play for objective-wise is that one airdrop actually here at Tide Prison. As a reminder, yes, we have an airdrop. That airdrop does contain some solid reds, some solid golds, etc. But the way to get the AWM or the M82 is going to be from that GTI supply mission. You can see it. Going to be spawning in here at the top side of the map. We'll keep our eyes out for that and who decides to run that, blow open some safes, kill some folks, and maybe get your weapon. But in general, looking at maybe the first engagements, we'll see maybe SSG and Liquids, depending which way Liquids rotate. Looks like they're going to actually go through mid, FX and Leviathan nearby each other. But Nightmare up on the far northern side of the map. Maybe MW could rotate down for some of these engagements. But SSG here, some footsteps below them for sure.
They're already just getting themselves primed and ready to go. The shots starting to fly in. Scabs are going to be going down as we look at the ammo and the gear setup. Everybody rocking them purples. So no more blues anywhere at all. And this is exactly the kind of approach they're trying to look to take here, right? Still playing a little bit of a conservative approach with regards to the ammo and the armor so that they can spurge a little bit more once they get into those mantle break rounds. But of course, the name of the game here is going to be to get your hand on that loot and hopefully successfully extract with it. Starting it off with a pocket watch, I mean, that is a really good find.
Yeah, we'll take it. Any reds we can find, throw those in our safe box and keep on rolling through the rest of the map. It is an eco round after all, so whatever you can find is nice. Again, you don't get a point until you get to 2 million in total stash value. Single point for every 2 mil. So certainly want to prioritize kills and engagements in this format, in this map in particular. But taking a fight, we say this all the time, GK, taking a fight early, a fight that you can't finish quickly, is a giant signal flare to all the other teams that there's a third-party potential here, and showing up to that oftentimes yields some results. So teams don't want to make any early mistakes, taking it nice and slow this time around. And honestly, well earned. The first 2 maps were non-stop aggression. It looks like everything's slowed down on Tide Prison as per the usual.
Yeah, I think pacing is key, right? You're going to try and kind of balance that out, as you said rightly so. The first 2 rounds, great for actually getting a little bit more aggressive. But now you're going to have to play with a lot more of a strategic approach, especially looking at just how Tide Prison is, right? You can't just blindly rush forward because there could be teams kind of popping out of the walls in some of the places, right? So you have to have your wits about you and you have to try and play with a very dynamic approach moving through here. So there is going to be a little bit of an opportunity for the teams to really try and capitalize on that. And hopefully today the zip lines are going to be safe.
We're 180k there from Pildora. It's Utsil landing over the top. Leviathan assuredly know that their enemy is above them, and vice versa. For now, all teams content with looting. But eventually, somebody will make a move. Socio Legend, I'm sure, has told his team, hey, I've got some bogeys in my direction. And equal plays, it's just looting up above and actually getting paid, finding that statue for nearly $500,000.
Those gazelles are always nice to have. Fortunately, though, I had to sell mine, so I'm a little bit of FOMO. Right, that's the thing about looking at all the reds they find here. Is like, man, I've been searching so long for that, and they just run in, pick it up almost instantly. But, you know, that is kind of just the way it goes in competitive, right? They have to find the good loot, and that is what you need to work so hard to get here. But still, you got to watch out for these bosses on Tide Prison as well. We have seen a team yesterday being taken down by one of the bosses. So, yeah, got to bring a lot of caution with you as you move through this. Of course, we can see 2 of them just going about the positions off in the distance, but a very sneaky walk coming through here from Skies, making sure that he can get out of here undetected. And very soon, we are going to be looking at that wooden mission coming into play as well.
Yeah, I could do the warden missions, some of those wooden sculptures, GTI supply mission, like you mentioned. It's pretty important. And our first airdrop, not too far away as well. So kind of still a lot to play for, but everybody electing not to move too much right now. Don't want to give away exactly where they are. Playing nice and slow. Spacestation Gaming is the only team that's incredibly split from each other. Look at where 2Easy's holding. Holding water side on the south side of the map and preparing to run this mission. He's going to pick that up nearly instantaneously, I assume. There it is. 2Easy just popped the mission. You'll see Kills all probably come back and help Easy with that mission so they can quickly complete it and get the extra loot. Maybe it'll be Liquids that'll take a fight with them first. Skies is playing lookout for now. Where is everybody? Anybody want to contest us on mission, or are we going to be able to complete this real quick? So far, looks like nobody cares.
I mean, we've seen quite a few different things, right? Teams sometimes not giving too much of a hoot about the mantle brick that is decoding. They kind of just let it go, and it does seem, at least for the time being, that nobody is going to be too heavily concerned about this mission going on here. We do see the other airdrop, of course. It's going to be coming down very, very soon. Oh, so there will be an opportunity for even more of a play. But I think especially now going for this mission here, getting that mean machine unlocked, available up for grabs. The focus here for SSG is going to be to make sure that they actually get out of this one and extract.
Would be nice. All quiet on Tide Prison, folks. I'm a big fan of aggression. And I was welcoming a bit of a calm start here, but nearly 8 full minutes of hardly a shot fired is maybe a bit too much for me. Let's see who makes the first move. They're still working on their mission. Be finishing that here shortly. First airdrop landing about 60 seconds. A waiting game. I feel like I'm doing commentary for like a nature documentary or something right now.
Golf, right?
Yeah, golf commentary.
Here we have Loud getting ready to tee up. He's just moving across the green. Oh, the wind just picked up. Look at the leaves go. So fantastic.
I mean, what is Fernandez looking at right now? Like, centered on the ground, waiting for the crawler nest. Okay, looks like Spacestation Gaming has finished our GTI supply mission. Very well done. Kills all picking up the M82. So remember that. We've got a couple teams that have pulled out an AWM already in the first 2 rounds. Liquids have one. And I believe Nightmare the other. Now Spacestation Gaming will join them not with an AWM, but with an M82. Still extremely strong sniper. Could help them in the next Mandelbrick round.
Yeah, I mean, anything that you can help give you that edge is going to help quite a bit. And 2Easy, of course, coming through, picking up the disc there is going to help add to that value, as they already now sit on 2.4 mil. So they've just unlocked another point on the board. But of course, it doesn't mean anything if they can't get extracted with that or squeeze all of that into their 3x3. So a lot of Tetris being played here as well.
Yeah, they'll play Tetris, especially when they start finding some more loot. Right now, everybody's fairly loot poor. I mean, SSG have 2.4 mil just because of the M82, really. Couple reds here and there. Nobody's found anything crazy yet. And right on top of each other, that's the other thing. Looks like MW picking up a nice scope there. Little 147K. Spotter. All right, some bullets fired. Fernandez. Not hitting anything, but some warning shots over towards SSG. At least we have some info. SSG know that there's a couple teams close by. And finally, our first gun goes up. And Sky is shooting at his opponent. Doesn't even hit them. It's actually FX on the other side. We got a 3-team battle. FX working their way to this engagement.
Well, it was about time for these teams to really get this party underway and start with the crazy sprays coming through here. It does seem like Uhemura is going to be fighting a few sharks down there. Got to watch out for it as he tries to get his hand on that loot. What is going to be inside? And we do find a Rolex. What else is there? Ooh, all right. Nothing too crazy just yet. Pretty much just that one red being secured. So Not too much value currently coming in for the side there of FX as they are just touching 1 mil. But now it is going to be the opportunity here for Leviathan and MW to refocus back into the battles. You can see Rapid quickly charting with the opening spray there, but a quick reposition is going to come through from Leviathan as they are just trying to get themselves out of that bottleneck position.
Finally, we're getting some fighting, and it's all coming at once. Pretty close enough now to look for engagements, especially with Leviathan being able to look through some of these bulletproof glass spots, trying to find their opponents. Can hear the plating just above them. Getting those repairs in. As much as we had a few shots fired, I'm not sure that any of the players were fulled, so I don't think there's actually been a kill on the map yet. Only a knock came in from the backside of FX onto MW. Nobody fulled that player, so we are nearly, actually over 10 minutes into this, and not one kill has exchanged hands. Huge change of pace.
Yeah, a considerable change that we've seen here. I mean, I think this is probably the most quiet that we've had it over on Tide Prison across all the Tide Prisons that we've seen being played so far. But it's going to be up to Rapid, though, and the rest of MW to see whether or not they are going to try to be committed to that engagement. But in the meantime, it is going to be SSG now sneaking up right behind them there. So it could be a big upset.
Hello.
Look at that hit, though.
M82 hits like a dang truck. And they'll get the cleanup here, no problem as well. The first kill does go to Spacestation Gaming, and they're looking to make it 3. FX in trouble in a 3v2, but the util is hitting kills on, so he's going to stop, heal up, take his time. This could be a signal flare for somebody like MW to try to swing around the corner, but it's a little bit more difficult than it sounds. Especially given all the angles you can get shot from. There's other teams in the area as well. This is going to be a 3v2, and it's just about channeling this at the right time together as a team. FX doing a good job of setting up a pinch where they can shoot both directions and cover each other. But if they all three send this coordinated effectively, this should be a fairly easy win in a 3v2, even with a decent position for FX.
Let's see whether or not FX is going to get that easy win unlocked. SSG, though, not going to be looking to make this one
Nice
easy. As
play.
Killzone, beautiful send, makes it look effortless, and ooh, just Sky's going absolutely crazy, picking up all 3 players.
A big fight off screen, though. We got to swing over to it. Nightmare doing work on Liquids. Liquids had a great last game, and they worked their way up the leaderboard. Nightmare looking to get a bit of revenge. Comes swinging on 2/3 of Liquids, and J Device is on the run. He's going to be holding this angle, maybe trying to trade at least one out. He does get one, but that's all he gets and won't even get the full. Down goes Liquids, down goes FX. Both near perfectly executed. Big shout out to SSG on that fight. They noticed that they were set up in a pinch. They set up crossing and covering each other. The last 2 members of FX did. So they smoke one, dive the other, get the kill. And by the time our player clears through the smoke, it's a 3v1, and they can't even get a full. Really well executed from Spacestation Gaming. They're going to be pushing 4 million. Here's a quick look back, though, on the original fight here between Liquids and Nightmare. Hiding in the shadows. Nox getting his bread. Gets 2 from equal plays. Ratting it out at the top of the stairs works out for him. Well done.
Yeah, sometimes ratting pays off, especially when it's a map like this where you have to be very careful and cautious as to which corner you turn around. But now it is going to be just everybody still continuing to trying to find that next position, that next space. I mean, SSG doing pretty good with the loot here, almost hitting that 4 million value point here. But are they going to be able to convert that into anything meaningful? In the meantime, Leviathan, they are really committed to getting all the way over across to where Nightmare finds themselves. They can hear the footsteps. Are they going to be able to find the angles? Right, this is an essential play now coming through for them. Nightmare about to get rushed, about to get pushed. They're going to have to be really quick on the trigger here, and it's just down to whether or not they can actually find those angles, right? Especially with the Sonic Pulse coming in, that paralysis makes it so difficult to move.
That's util that was put down earlier. It triggered. Leviathan on Shepard up above. Here comes MW, though. Skies finding the angle. Back online with SSG. They're looking for more. Remember, they got 3 kills last map. They got the Mantle Brick and more. So Spacestation Gaming in a really strong position. They have the M82. They only have 3 more rounds, though. I think 2 shots have been fired from Space Station. They'd like to save the rest of them. Chowing the corner. Skies hits a couple shots, but actually tanks a ton of util for his team. Pildora on a flank. Gets punished. Misses shots. Skies is shooting straight and turns and burns. Skies should not have won that. And Loud finally comes up on the backside and takes down Skies. They were able to trade one out. A 2v2. Skies almost doing the impossible. SSG, a hair to split for my liking. They're gonna have to watch that one back on the VOD, but right now all they gotta do is win this in 2 easy. Turns his back. Killzall left the map. SSG was trying to play as a duo there. Incredibly difficult, even against a team like MW have been struggling today. MW made quick work of SSG. They're out of the map, and now it's down to MW trying to hold off the push from Leviathan, two of the strongest teams on the map, two of the most aggressive, playing against MW. They feel the pressure, and only Rapids Alive goes off to the hills running for his life.
It is going to be a full send coming through here from Leviathan as they are in hot pursuit, and they just got to find that one hit, that one play to take down Rapid and wipe out the entirety of MW. They are so close to catching up to him, but MW Rapid is going to be running into another team. Oh, waiting with open barrels.
Yet again, Nightmare get paid for not moving and standing at the top of the stairs. That's the way Tide Prison plays, baby. Nightmare have reaped a ton of rewards. I think that's 3 kills that they've gotten just by being in the right place at the right time. Leviathan, they lost one earlier, so they're going to have to fight as a duo, and equal play is going to make them pay for it. Down goes one. It's going to have to be Widows, so he goes on the run, but he's all stifled and stumbled from the util. A full team of 3, Nightmare in the wing. They're going to take down Widows. It's only a matter of time.
Well, let's see who's going to be the next one to bag it up here. Widows, very tough position to be. 1v3. Pretty stacked odds against him, but can he kind of narrow them down? Good trade on the first. Looking to just pick them up, single them out. This could be the tactic to help Nightmare just make their way back into the lobby, but unfortunately for Widows, right, when you're blind and you can't see, you can't exactly hit the shots.
To be honest, the fact that Widows is even able to get one there is a big win. In a 1v3, the best teams won't even allow you to trade one player out. He did a really good job of isolating in a 1v1 when all 3 players were nearly stacked on top of each other. Still was able to do it. Really shows the efficacy of the fighting prowess from Leviathan. Great job from them. But Nightmare win the map, and they sent kills all out with that M82. They wanted to save those remaining 3 bullets earlier, and that's why he left. But the other 2 stayed on the map to take their fight. So a smart play from SSG. Since they did get some value on the map, let's protect it. But Nightmare end up with the most kills. I want to say that it's at least 5 kills on the map, if not 6 from the Nightmare roster as a total team, most of which were just gathered by being at the top of the stairs.
Well, sometimes that is the best approach to take, right? Just keep yourself to wait and see who kind of funnels and feeds themselves over on towards you. But the Glock is about to Glock out, and Nightmare, though, I'm hoping that they've got enough in their 3x3s to really lock it in. You can see Equal, this time not dancing, but definitely celebrate. Oh, there's the dance moves. Never mind, I spoke too soon.
Equal woke up feeling good today, man. I like to see it. Congrats to Nightmare picking up a great eco round. SSG, frankly, did a lot of the same. Reminder, they picked up several kills, so they'll be happy about that one. I think the only frustrating part was the position that 2easy and Skies were in. They were trying to cover too much ground as a duo. I got kind of turned around because I was so focused on the fight. So with Killzall not there, I think as a duo, you got to play way closer together, and Skies was just a little isolated from Easy. But even still, they had a great map. And in general, Liquid's unfortunately not as good as they wanted. It's going to be Nightmare as the best team, though. 6 total kills with 1.5 mil assets, over 1,200 damage. These guys putting in work on an eco round. That's a ton of value. 4.8 mil just from the kills alone.
I mean, that is a great day, right? 1.8 mil almost coming through on that, plus 1.5 in assets. Absolutely glorious stuff, and hitting the 12 damage. Some really good work being done here by the side of Nightmare. So yeah, curious to see exactly how far they are going to look to take this one, as they are going to be moving through it. I mean, well, 4.8 mil, that is a hefty number. But looking at the overall kills there, Space Station also, they've been cooking today, right? Kills all managing to sneak out with that 1.5 mil, and 4 in total here. That is also going to help them feel pretty good with another 3.2 mil going that way as well. So yeah, like where this is going, but we got to look at the top killers here. It is going to be Nightmare Equal to sit at top of the log here with 4 in this round.
Yeah, great job from Equal Plays to pick up 4 kills as an individual. It was a team effort, though. They played together the entire time. He was just the one holding the stairs every time. So 3 of those 4 kills came from him being in the right place at the right time, and we will take those. That is part of being a great player in Delta Force. Got to have great timing. There's the damage from all of those kills coming through. Nearly 1,000. Well done. And then even kills all. And Rapid showing up on this as well. Rapid's doing a good job playing flanks, trying to pick up some kills amidst the chaos towards the end of that map.
Yeah, like how this is turning out here, but let's take a look, see what is going to be coming through for our assist. As Loud has been making a whole lot of noise, helping his team secure all the points they can find here. But SSG also looking pretty decent, right? And it makes sense looking at how they kind of just work their way through it, right? Especially with Too Easy getting into that altercation alongside Skies as well. So a lot of sense is being brought to the forefront here, and I like where this is going. For Killzalt, we did see that successful extraction being brought in as well. Equal Meg also hitting pretty hard with the value that they've been able to find in this round.
And again, I tip my hat to Killzalt. This is a classic strategy. It doesn't seem very difficult, but it can be often when you're just trying to extract one player. Killzalt doing a good job to protect that M82. I saw somebody in chat asking about it, that you can't buy the ammo for those weapons out of the map, so you need to take it out. But big shout out to Equal Plays being the MVP. Well earned. 4 kills on a map like Tide Prison, especially a slow map that we played that map. Nightmare did a really good job, and Equal Plays a big factor for that success.
Yeah, not much that we can fault in this round number 3, but of course that means only one thing, right? They've been farming loot for a reason, right? They've been spreading some seeds, and now they get to harvest that, as we are going to be heading over to Space City to see who can get their hands on the Mandel bricks, if any, because it's going to be a pretty crazy run, I believe.
Could be Space City until we close, folks. You're not going to want to miss our next Mandel Brick round. Technically speaking, Space Station Gaming could close things out right here. But if history is going to repeat itself, we're at least going to Game 6, folks. Buckle up. We'll be right back in just a moment with some scores. And, of course, our first Space City map.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and NT getting a little solo. Hang on a second, NL! Look at that! It's an absolute sweat! This. And Ellis got it though. They're here. Lines them up, even through the shot. You're nuts! For the last remaining 3 BOB, they find 2 instant knocks. The Helm's gonna be hopping up that.
I'll get you out of here.
For some, success is measured by bodies in bags. Maybe that suits them. But to me, it's measured in hearts that keep beating. You with me?
Enemy got the mantle bricks. Find it. Stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first and the brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Not gonna do very much though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. There it is. Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series, Day 3, Week 1, Americas, baby. And we are moving to Space City. Tide Prison, a bit of a bore for the first half, but the second half ended with a bang. A ton of kills across the bow, and only one team remaining on the map, which was Nightmare, returning to form and slaying out the lobby. They've started to leapfrog up with these squad points. DK, walk me through this leaderboard.
Well, as you can see, SSG sitting quite comfortably there with 18 points in their pocket. But of course, they've got the Mandel Break to Brood as well. And that change now coming into this round. They might have two, or we could see any one of the other teams looking to grab one themselves. But Leviathan definitely going to be one of those teams trying to keep their eye on that Mandel Break. They've got 19 squad points. Getting the Mandel Break will put them up in pole position. But the same, of course, can be said here for Nightmare, for Liquids, Fluxo, and even MW, right? Anyone in this lobby can look to step up and put their hands on that Mandel Break, decode it, and walk away with it. It sounds easy. It is not, right? It is going to be hairy, scary, and brutal most of the way for a lot of the teams here. And of course, only one team can potentially successfully extract or decode that Mandel Break. But another thing could also happen. It can just get full on denied, right? By utilizing the living heck out of these operators.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's worth talking about the operators right now for a couple reasons. One, you're going to see Tempest on the map yet again when it comes to Space City. We always talk about the comp meta. When it comes to Space City, you're going to see either Stinger or Toxic, and then you're going to see probably Luna, and then you're going to see probably Tempest ideally. And if not a Tempest, you're going to see an engineer like a Lurud. And then that'll all mix and match. You'll see it on your screen now. Stinger, Luna, and Tempest is, by and large, the top comp meta. But we saw that FX and MW, reminder, they already used the Tempest on Brakkesh. I would expect FX, MW to not come in with a Tempest on our first Space City round. If they do, they won't have one for the next two rounds if we get there. So usually teams will wait and waylay their next Tempest. The teams that do waylay their Tempest doesn't mean they won't get the brick. Just means they have a slight disadvantage on being able to steal back and forth. Going to look to play zoning off. But looking at T1 spawns, I think it's an important note. SSG and Liquids did pull T1 spawns on Tide Prison, which means they will not have the Tier 1 spawns for Space City. Everybody can sprint for the mid map, but those two T1 spawns can get there first often. But both of those T1 spawns are also very dangerous. Employee passage 2, you get shot coming over the pipes. And then over there at Westgate, you can get shot from dormitory if you're not fast enough. So watch out for some early engagements off spawn.
Yeah, we saw that happening over on EMEA, right? Genius, they went over onto the West Bridge. That was their first spawn on exactly this round. and they just got absolutely wiped out, right? They were the team with the Mandel Brick in hand, and we were like really thinking that this could be the game where they're going to be clutching it up. And then boom, out they go, just absolutely instantly wiped out in under 30 seconds. So teams have to be very wary when they approach these gates, because it is going to be an absolute showdown.
Here we go. Speaking of a showdown, Farmer Lucas cracks a shot across the bow and almost takes down Killzall in one shot. Watch out. We got a sniper on the loose, and those guns hit like a truck. I told you Nightmare had picked up that earlier in the competition and already throwing some shots down range on SSG. Lucas looking for maybe a bit more, but low on ammo. Only have a couple, and you can see that FX in the area as well. Got to pick your targets, figure out where do you want to go from here.
Well, there's only so many targets to choose from, but let's see how Equal is going to look to get himself situated through this, trying to pressure FX. And currently, as you can see on the map there, they're kind of stuck, right? They don't really have an easy exit. It's going to be a pretty squeezy one for them to try and work their way through. It's not impossible. They just have to try again, right? Use the timing and make it count, because that's the only way they can get themselves much closer onto that Mandel Break. Speaking about which, though, SSG, they are just right up in there, right? MW also having a pretty good send with that approach onto the Mandel Break.
Yeah, I mean, this is a strong start for Spacestation Gaming. Reminder, they came over from Central Command and they almost got sniped in rotation. They're able to heal up and get across the bridge in time, and so now they're all the way down here by the Mandel Break, and they're going to be first here. There's really nobody else contesting brick spawn off rip, and it looks like SSG's actually pre-clearing where they think they're going to try to take this for the decode. They clear it, see nobody. They're going to be making a move for the brick here shortly. We do see that every team is bringing in a Tempest besides Spacestation Gaming, who have yet to use a Tempest yet. Surprising to see both FX and MW burning their second Tempest in this round. If it goes any longer, they won't have a single Tempest. And if it goes any longer, Spacestation Gaming will have a Tempest for each of the next 2 rounds. A strong play for them because they already have a brick. They don't have to win it here. If they can, that'd just be kind of nice.
I mean, they're not gonna mind, right? It's like, well, if you insist, we'll take it, you know. But that's not gonna be their main focus. I think they might just be trying to play a little bit of that denying game here. But so far, they've got a pretty strong spread. We got Killzall over on towards the Mandel Brick itself, just gatekeeping it. You see Skies in between him and Too Easy. In the meantime, it is going to be Equal just being an absolute nightmare to the side of FX as they go for a little bit of a swim, trying to get themselves out of harm's way. Meanwhile, J Device is going to be finding our first red here, just bagging it up, and it is going to be a really good fight, almost hitting a 500,000.
A solid satellite dish. Nice find. And we're just watching Nightmare and the team quite literally try to shoot fish in the barrel. I'm curious what's going on around the Mandel Break. It seems like SSG aren't grabbing it, even though they have a solid position. Killzall is waiting for somebody else to make the play. They don't have a Tempest, remember, so he doesn't want to risk a die and going for it. But I think more than that, he wants to bait it out. He knows somebody will make a move for it here shortly, and it looks like MW and SSG have spotted each other. And so everybody's waiting for somebody else to make the first move. And for now, Mandel Brick stays in spawn.
Quite a bit of a shift in the dynamic here. Does seem like the teams are at least trying to whittle down the competition a little bit before they consider moving into that brick itself. But MW, you can see they're getting a little bit angsty, right? They want to get that play going, and it is going to be Killzall to take it. As he now makes a quick retreat. Ooh, good play. Look at that. All the way from Too Easy. As he puts the defenses up, and SSG now going to move up onto the decode, looking to get it started. Are they going to be heading into the alley? Yes, that is exactly where they go. So a whole lot of sense why they've been spreading out so much, trying to clear the area.
Yeah, a very clean take. I'm going to be honest. I think they're surprised it's as easy as it is right now. Everybody playing really passive out of nowhere. The first 2 maps were such a banger. I just expected people to just fly at each other and go for these aggressive plays. But Spacestation Gaming have complete control of the brick. They start the decode, and they're in control of ramp. They're in control of boxes. They're out in the alleyway. And not a lot of people are moving right now. LEVIATAN content to play slow here. The only team actually moving towards the brick is going to be Nightmare, traditionally a pretty aggressive team. It makes sense that they'll be first to contest Space Station Gaming, but contesting this ramp is going to be really difficult. So they'd like to hear some other shots on the other side before trying to peek ramp, knowing that if they peek ramp early, not only 2easy will look at them, but 2easy's teammates also will peek it. They have to focus on two different directions. They have a better shot.
Yeah. You don't want to risk it all too early on, so the team's definitely going to try and pace it out as best they can. And now it's just down to those shots, right? Looking to see if Killzall can maybe find a few more. Too easy, though. He's going to be keeping a very close eye on the side there of Leviathan. They are going to be trying to keep themselves just out of harm's way, just out of reach. Meanwhile, Nightmare, they've crept up right alongside SSG here, just prepping themselves for a bit of a push potentially up that ramp. But a very stealthy rotate that we can see coming through on there. And Killzall pretty committed over on towards the NW side. Is just waiting for something to happen. Loud is going to be moving up, but he's got to watch out. He could be met with quite a bit of a hit there.
60 seconds, or almost 2 minutes actually, have gone by, and not one team has even looked at the decoding station yet. I thought there would be no way that we see a team close it out in 4, but it's looking more and more likely that SSG will be that team. Nightmare electing to go underground. They're going to be underneath this decoding station. They'll be able to come up the stairs right around where that number 1 is, where Killzall's at right now. If they want to go that direction, or they come around Centrifuge, which it looks like they're going to go stairs at Centrifuge instead. And now MW getting really aggressive, using that Tempest ult to, frankly, just get intel. Killzall able to knock them, send them right back the way they came, and that's going to be on cooldown. Frankly, I don't know if I love that play. Just using it for intel, you're only going to have one more shot at using Tempest ult. It's going to be down to the last couple seconds before SSG get the brick. So MW going to be a non-factor for a little while. It's going to have to be a team like Leviathan now getting aggressive, or Nightmare getting aggressive, not MW. But now 70 seconds on the clock. It's starting to get a little bit dire. Teams don't necessarily know who this is that is decoding the brick currently. There's not a ping anymore saying that this is a match point team. But if they get eyes on one of these players and figure out who they are, they would have a little bit more pip in their step. They'd be a little bit more urgent. This match is about to be over. Day 3 is about to be closed. If somebody doesn't make a move, they gotta go.
I think what really counts in favor here of SSG is just how the teams have been positioned, right? You can see Liquids and MW very close to each other, so they could be quite a bit of fighting coming through on that end. It is going to be a cheeky push coming through here from J-Device, but Killzall,
oh, come on,
shooting through the tiniest little gap in the fences there. Oh, Rapid now going to start to move up as well, and it is going to be chaos, carnage, and mayhem all over the place as 2easy picks up the trade.
It's got to be the brick, though. Somebody's got to jump it. It does look like SSG's in trouble. We got to stick with Skies. Where's he at? He's on the decoding station right now. If he goes down, it's pause. Here goes Leviathan trying to make a move for the brick. 6 seconds on the clock. They feel like they need to get this kill, and they do. 1, 2, can he get a boat? Space Station, give me their 10. 1 second. We needed 1 more second if we're Skies. 1 second is the difference on us stopping here or going one more game, and we were assuredly going one more game. Skies needed 1 more bullet to miss, and SSG win it right there. Oh, too close for comfort in my opinion, but a great job from Leviathan to recognize the win condition. They didn't have time for the steal. They had to go for the kill, and they had the intel of where that player was. Whew, that was close.
If you had popcorn left, it would be all over the floor right now with all the action that these teams are bringing onto the Mantle Brick. But as we've seen now, right, the decode has only been interrupted, so somebody has to get it started yet again. Somebody has to venture forward, and now it's going to be Leviathan just absolutely ripping into the side of Nightmare.
Well, it's going both ways. Leviathan down to a solo. They picked up their res, and they heard the beeps. Nightmare full sent this res. Socio just put up so much damage from the hip fire, but unfortunately on the contest, not realizing Farmer Lucas was full. But this weakens this Nightmare roster for the push coming in from FX. Really late to the party, but they're able to reap the rewards from that push since Nightmare is down to 1 player. FX lose one in transition, but should be able to pick up this res no problem. We're down to 3 teams left, and I say no problem, but now MW show up, get the code, gonna start the timer again, and they've got to play for the rest of FX if they want it. They're down to a duo, but they're in a pretty decent spot on the map. Team Liquids, as a full team of 3, could make a play for this brick, or they can make a play for the kill on MW.
They definitely could. It's all down to whether or not they should and whether or not they will. That is going to be the big question here, because you can see Himura just scouting it out, making sure that there's nobody on that drop, at least not for the time being. But Meg is going to be moving into position. You can see that Bo also getting ready to do a little bit of something over there. But up they go. J-Device is going to go in for the steal. Does get this. Oh, does get the nab just in time. And with that, the clock is down to 3 minutes yet again. And now it's up to Liquids to see, can they keep the pressure up, right? Can they stay on this decode and own it all the way through?
Now that they have control, and NW is down to a duo. Team Liquids just need to play patient here. They're playing from storage containers, shipping containers rather, on the right. I don't love that position. It's kind of difficult to hold the decoding station itself, but it does give you a decent amount of presence over the top. So a couple players running into transition. I mean, if there's smokes, FX should be able to get to the decoding station. And I don't know that Team Liquids, or Liquids rather, will be able to stop them. Now, what could stop them is a well-placed arrow. Headshot across the bow. Everything changes if Meg hits that shot. For now, all the teams are slowing way down, waiting on each other. It's only 3 of them, though.
Yeah, well, with only 3 teams in here, still a lot that can happen. As you can see, Poppy just sending out a quick cheeky arrow there, just trying to make sure that the coast is all clear. We still have 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock to keep possession of that mantle break. And of course, as we get closer and closer to the end of this round, they're gonna have to try and keep it in sync with that match clock as well, right? You can't have that have less time than what the decode is gonna take to happen and take place. But now up they come. It is gonna be the side of FX starting to push up ramp, coming into the alley. Watch out for Meg though. Up comes Jade. 3 squads trying to make a play for this mantle break, and FX is gonna get their hands on it.
Yeah.
There we go. One more changeover. 2.5 minutes on the clock. And exactly half of the match time that we have for them to play through this.
I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about. I just don't love the shipping containers on the right. I don't think Liquids technically have a better position to play from just because MW made it inside first and FX are on ramp, but you just don't have vision of the decoding station itself. So once they smoke and ran across, unless you got really lucky with your shots, you're not going to be able to hold from there. With that, though, Liquids also lost a player, so they're going to go ahead and start a revive. And I love that you brought up the game clock, because this will be the first time we're seeing this actually matter in the Americas region. The next steal resets to 2 minutes, and our game clock's at 4.5, or a little bit less. We truly are starting to run out of daylight here if we want to get the brick at all.
So they're going to have to unlock that extra level of efficiency if they want to secure the brick and steal it away from the side here of FX. But I like the spread that FX is going for here. Up comes Pildora, though. Big distraction there on the side of FX, and this is exactly what they need to use to try and capitalize upon. You got to watch out for Meg. Is going to be waiting in the wing there as Pildora quickly just pulls back. Now J-Device is going to be looking to move up yet again. Loud Pildora going to try and just control the mantle break for the time being. And I mean, that would be golden for it, right? They need the points, and this would be an epic step up from them. But let's see whether or not that is going to be on the cards for them.
Next steal is going to be our minimum timer of 90 seconds. J-Device utilizing their Tempest ult to re-steal this. 90 seconds on the clock. A little over 3 minutes to go. Everybody waiting for their Tempest cooldowns. It looks like Pildora may try to make a play here. Again, MW, the only team that's a duo. FX playing really passive right now from ramp. And now they're going for the smoke and run. Now that Tamiyoza does have Tempest ult off cooldown. Here's the move. Needs to get there, but Liquid's this time going to try to barrel stuff them at the line. They get all the way to the decoding station. They knew what their error was last time. The error last time was, we can't see the decoding station. How do you see the decoding station? You sit on it. They push up a much better position. MW looking over their heads right now. Do need to be careful about the backside. If they get pinched here, yes, a better position to hold the line. It's also an easier position for MW to make a big play. Fernandez actually helping out a little bit while his teammates hurts them. Fernandez will be looking over the top of Liquids. Should see MW peek this door in a second. With one player down for Liquids and there's no chance of them getting that res, Poppy might be in a bit of trouble. Meg gonna have to be the hero. They don't know that he's on the decoding station, or at least what side. Tamiyoza does find one member of Loud. There it is. Liquid's in trouble. It's got to be Poppy by himself. Losing a ton of life to the util, and Pildora will clean him up. Liquids go down. Decoding interrupted. 90 seconds on the clock, and FX last on the map. Sometimes, and in the storybooks, the tortoise wins the race. The slowest to the brick gets paid. They walk their way to the finish line. They'll get the mantle brick, and that's about it.
You know what's crazy to think of? FX started off this match, or this round rather, with 9 points. Just 9. That's how much they had. Right now they have 22 in the bag here, and things are looking pretty good for them. Of course, now just doing a little bit of that due diligence, making sure that there's absolutely nobody here as we take the scenic route through the building there of the centrifuge. And I mean, so far it's looking pretty decent, right? Nobody is going to come around any corner, but they don't know that, so they are going to keep watch here. Of course, just patiently waiting for that mantle brick to decode itself. But here we go, a quick look back at how everything unraveled and unfolded. Back to the 2-minute mark of the game, and Poppy just trying to get the hits, and this is where chaos ensued, right? Absolutely hard hitting, just making it so tough. And of course, it is going to be that Tempest drill charge, just making it so difficult for him to defend himself.
Well, unfortunately, too, it looked like Poppy had a ton of info of where FX was, had no idea where that last remaining player for MW was. And the last player from MW was right in front of his face. And he was looking at other things. Didn't see him peek in the corner. And I think our last MW member was kind of astonished as well. I was like, there's a guy on the ground there? All right, well, that's a freebie. And picks him up. And then FX were able to clean up the rest of the map. Final seconds here, they'll throw whatever they can into the safe box and won't even hardly get anything because they were too worried about a rat spoiling their day and at least just trying to make sure that nobody got the brick by either stealing it or taking them down. So they play slow, they play patient. And again, the tortoise wins the race every once in a while here with Delta Force. So good job from FX. They're going to be near the top of the leaderboard, up with Spacestation Gaming, who was 1 second away from closing it out in 4 today. Heroics to save the day. Spacestation Gaming getting wiped in the final second of the decode.
Absolutely insane, right? Who would have thought that this is how it was going to turn out? But big shout out going out to Fluxo, as they are going to be our team sitting here smiling. 7 operator kills, 1.4 mil going their way. A glorious mantle brick and almost 1200 damage being secured in this past round. So, I mean, Tamiyoza and the team, they worked exceptionally hard. And even though they might have been the tortoise in this past round, you know, they also get their day in the sun.
That's right. Well, here's a look at the overall leaderboard. FX, 7 kills. Maybe the tortoise, but that tortoise was shooting, man. 7 kills is awesome to see. Everybody else, Nightmare pick up 4, Leviathan pick up 3. Decent spread of eliminations across the bow, and generally speaking, nothing really to write home about on the screen besides the fact that FX do leapfrog the leaderboard with that mana brick, and those points does allow FX to actually have solid squad points. But Nightmare still pick up solid points as well. Here's equal plays. Farmer Lucas there, 2 pieces apiece. Playing from the ramp, doing a pretty good job of spoiling some people's days, but it was FX by the end of the day as the last team standing.
Yeah, and at the end, there can only be one. And of course, when it comes to damage, it is going to be Uhemura that is going to be locking that one in. 731 damage ahead of Farmer Lucas and Widows. But of course, looking at the assist, right? Equal, bringing in his equal responsibility, making sure that the team can get some points on the board. As we saw, it was a pretty tough run for Nightmare, right? They got taken out kind of through that midway push as all the chaos descended down upon the Mandel break. But it is going to be the asset owners, right? Uhemura picking up 670k, just slightly ahead of what Pildora and J Device were able to pick up as well.
Yeah, and these asset totals don't mean too much just because a kill is 800k, but we'll take what we can get, a little bit of extra on top just to make sure our next kits are just that much better. But 4 kills from Uhemura is a great rep from them. And again, they were just playing slow, playing third parties, catching people unaware, catching people on reses, end up wiping the last remaining members of Nightmare after they were in engagement, just really playing patient. And this has been their playstyle over the last 2 days of competition that we've seen them compete. FX have this playstyle that is much slower than some of the other teams, and it does work occasionally. And this time it worked in a really big way. Big shout out to FX there. And folks, you can see it down below. Go drop a follow on all major socials here with Delta Force eSports accounts, as well as our official accounts. There's a ton of info out there about the Delta Force Rise series as well, and the Twitch channels down below, panels rather, on our Twitch channel. You can click Americas or EMEA to learn more about the Delta Force Rise series. We were almost done for the day, but we're at least going one more map. FX, SSG, can they close it out in 5, or will we play a 6? Back to Space City we go here in just a moment. We'll be right back after a short break.
Two members, now the odds are in their favor, 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting a little... So hang on a second, NL! Look at that! It's an absolute sweat! This... And LG's got to know that they're here. Lines them up, even through the shock, you're nuts! For the last remaining 3 BOV, they find 2 instant knocks. The Helm's gonna be hopping off that.
This court finds that the AI holds no legal responsibility.
But the data, this doesn't add up. Just do what the AI says.
Priority. Protect company assets. Valve closed.
You destroyed our home!
That dream again.
Gabriel Mercier, codename N2, role engineer. As a former nuclear facility engineer, N2 was removed from his position following a major incident that escalated into legal proceedings. He later returned to military service and was reassigned to Arctic deployment under CBR and related units. With the originally designated technical specialist unable to fulfill operational requirements, and following assessment review, N2 has been approved as a replacement operator for the subsequent operation.
Stun out. Throwing stun. Stun hit. Freeze right there. It's getting cold.
N2 is equipped with a modified grenade launcher, capable of firing up to 6 LN2 grenades. Upon impact, each round detonates and releases a burst of cryogenic gas, dealing area damage and significantly impairing enemy mobility. Sustained hits can fully immobilize targets through extreme low temperature exposure.
Cold. I can go colder.
cover you! I'll get you out of here.
The enemy got the mantle bricks. Find it. Stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first hit to break up the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, I'm not gonna do very much though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. So much damage, and there it is. Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series, Day 3, Week 1 here with the Americas region, and we have just wrapped up our first Space City round, round 4. I mean, I say this all the time, but that one also was a banger, man. SSG almost closed things out in 4 total. They had the brick, they were decoding it, and they get stuffed at the line with 1 second left until they get the brick. But with our rule that if your team is wiped, our timer pauses. That timer paused, but maybe less than a second. And it was FX, the last team standing at the amidst a ton of chaos, frankly, of a big fight after SSG went down. But Fluxo on top now with a total of 19 squad points after what was a fantastic map from them. They picked up 7 kills that map, bringing their total to 12 kill points. And with the extra supply at 19 total, they're in first here, TK.
Yeah, it is a pretty good look on them. I'm not going to lie about that. But looking at it, though, there are more teams stepping up to the plate, right? I mean, Nightmare, Leviathan can all look to bag themselves one of those mantle bricks. Of course, if you ask that to Flux or to SSG, they're going to say no. It's not allowed. One of them needs to get it coming into this next game. And especially looking at the operator picks that SSG has made, not taking their Tempest coming into the previous round, that could be exactly what they have in mind, right? Coming in with still having the double Tempest play in round 5 and potentially round 6 if we do even go that far. So some big strategies coming through here from the squads. Excited to see who is going to be the one to try and test it out. And I'm pretty sure that SSG is going to just camp that thing down. They're going to lock it up, make sure that nobody can even look at the mantle brick.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it was well earned from FX. They desperately needed to get that brick because they are out of Tempest operators now. So you can see FX, MW, both have used their Tempest already. They used them on Brakkesh. They used them on our first Space City map. So they're going to be at a disadvantage going into the next couple of rounds. Doesn't mean they can't get the brick, just a small disadvantage. Everybody else still Tempest to play with, and this has been the main comp that we've been seeing. You can most of the time just swap Stinger with Toxic across the board, but other than that, this is the same comp over and over and over again. And if you don't see a Tempest, you're probably going to see an Alluru. So overall, Space City, there's only a couple operators that really make a ton of sense. But if we do get to round 6, if we go one more game after this, that's when people start to get a little bit more limited and they have to get a little more creative. But talk to me about the spawns. What can we expect?
Well, it's definitely not going to be MW or FX getting their hands on those T1 spawns. It could be any one of the other squads, of course. As you know, you can't get the back-to-back T1 spawns. The same goes for any of the other spawns, right? You can only get that spawn that you get that round. The next one, it either goes up or down, but it will never be the same one again. So let's see who will be the one to claim those T1 spawns coming into this round. And the teams now are just prepped up and ready to go They are going to be looking for that full-on send. And this is be go, 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 as we are going to be looking at the race. The race starts here with LEV taking that first T1 spawn. SSG, though, they are going to be spawning all the way back over in towards the backside here. Good spray down coming through, though.
Yeah, this is the classic shooting off spawn, but this time everybody playing much more aggressive around the brick. You can see Liquids, see Nightmare, Leviathan, even FX moving towards the brick already, playing around central map. SSG pulled Dormitory. They threw some shots down range, much like Nightmare threw shots at them last time. They don't get a ton of value from it, though, so they're going to be coming in pretty late to mid-map. We'll see who gets the brick first. Nightmare in the best position currently. They've already made their way underground. They're going to be underground between Centrifuge and CEO, trying to decide where they want to pop up and potentially going to be playing against Liquids. You can see in the X-ray, they're working their way towards each other. Quick look at the operators, though, in the kits. SSG want to close it out here. They've got the meta comp, and they've got all golds across the board. Everybody else, Leviathan, FX, all gold as well. There's a lot of investment. FX also want to win right here, right now. Leviathan trying to get on the board with their first brick by bringing in a bunch of gold.
Yeah, so it shows you that these teams mean business. They are here, they are taking it super serious, and they want to end it up right here. But it's all going to come down to who gets their hands on that final mantle brick, right? Not necessarily first, but the final hand on it, and who can actually make it decode all the way through. You can see NW looking at a few of the bots there. We actually did see one of the players getting hit with a tank earlier today, so that was quite hilarious. But now it is going to be up to Nightmare to start their play and start their push, as of course the ultis are ready, and it is going to be a full set onto the mantle brick.
Equal plays, using the ult, trying to make a push here. Feels the pressure from the other side, and Socio Legend finds him through the smoke. Of course, Equal will be able to get the self-revive off, but Socio Legend gets the brick. Nice job finding the player through smoke, getting the brick, and now on to the move. Looks like they may go indoors potentially, but also Socio hearing some footsteps behind. Oh no! Utter disaster. Pildora peaks at the perfect time, and it's both of his teammates get cut down. Leviathan are off the map. MW playing aggressive this time around. It pays off huge. Brick about to be in hand, and all three up in 3 kill points.
Absolutely insane play coming through there from them, but of course it is going to be MW now rushing forward. As they have that mantle brick in hand, they have quite a bit of a way to go. The decoding stations are not where they are, and the hits now coming through as they get hit. It is going to be Equal locking it in with a beautiful, quickish, effective hit onto them.
Nice shot from Equal plays. Strike while the iron is hot. They were picking up a res there, kind of out in the open, so a freebie for them. Now they're able to finish the res, rather, and now Equal plays is going to be moving into a full team of 3. They need some of this util to land, so they have an advantage. Equal's shooting straight today. Still thinks the player is behind these boxes, but it looks like Pildora is actually wrapped out to the right. As long as he doesn't expose his shoulder on the right-hand side, should be fine. Loud is quite literally on 1 HP. Don't think you can get lower. Gonna be able to heal up, and now Pildora taking a decent bit of damage. Feeling the pressure, they're trying to back off and actually get 2. Pildora finds the angle on Lucas. Nightmare in deep trouble. Over the top, Nightmare go down. What on earth? DW a solo, and they are full wiped. MW was in last place. Hardly anything to really show for anything except for this map. Like, they haven't hardly done anything on the map in general. A couple kills here, a couple kills there. They have 2 full team wipes playing from ramp, and now they have brick in hand.
Absolute boss level play going through from them, but of course they still have quite a long way to go, as SSG is going to be waiting just up ahead of them. Of course, still 2 others also in this round. It is going to be Liquids and FX holding on that far southern position. But I'm curious to see what the approach is going to be from both SSG as well as FX, right? As we know, both those teams had the mantle brick already decoded. So if any one of those get the play here onto MW, will definitely help them end up the day quickly. But again, you can see SSG now just scanning, looking over onto the opposite ramp. Not spotting out any angles, but they have a pretty good idea of where to go looking for MW.
SSG a long way away. MW have yet to put the brick into a decoding station. They're actually off screen right now running. You can see them through X right here, actually running towards SSG, and the M82 barely misses over the top of Rapid, but they hear the shots and they know they're in trouble. They try to smoke, try to run, and it doesn't look like SSG are able to hit their shots. Now pay attention, top middle of your screen, there is a timer. That is not the decode. MW still have it in hand. If they don't put it in a decoding station in the next 90 seconds, it will go back to spawn. Killzall getting really aggressive, playing up front. Still hasn't popped his Tempestol. With one down, could be an opportunity to play really aggressive here, especially when they get the cleanup. They're going to slow down for a second and make sure that they can reload and play for the fight. Here they go now. Killzall, smelling that blood in the water. He's going to go hunt down his opponents. Got nothing to lose with Tempestol up. Oh, just grab the brick. Yep. We don't care about kills. Thank you very much. Got to get to a decoding station in 70 seconds, though. Let's make a move.
Yeah. Pick up those knees, lift them high, and get that manual break to safety. It does seem like they're for that northern decoding station.
Yep.
And nobody is even close to that, so this could be a great play coming through from the side of SSG. I've not seen this decoding station being played just yet, so this is going to be a first for me as well. But you know what? SSG, they are up for the challenge. They are up to be tested. And I mean, FX already starting to wrap around, heading through the hoist room as they try to get themselves all the way over to contest this decoding.
Yeah, this decoding station is interesting. It's out in the sand. It was changed slightly with the map design once the sand was redone a while ago. And with this decoding station, the cover that you have on the actual decoding station itself is actually a ton. But any move to get to the decoding station is wide out in the open. So it's kind of a weird one to play for. You have to have a ton of smokes, and you have to put down a ton of covering fire. You're absolutely going to get shot here. And you actually see, I was curious, these guys came from the north side of the map. They likely cleared most of the north side and probably threw an arrow up to Central Command. Too Easy is way split from his team because he's able to get intel from top of Central Command looking over to see teams rotating in. Can give call-outs to the roster so they know which angles to look at first, since there's so many different positions you could potentially go for from this brick. You could even rotate all the way up the eastern side of the map to try to play from the back side of the decoding station if you wanted. But Too Easy will be able to spot almost every rotation.
Ooh. That was almost an absolutely impressive hit coming through from Skies. Just missing that shot very narrowly, but up comes the push here as FX is going to try and test the water, right? They seem very determined to get themselves situated here. So we're going to continue to apply a little bit of pressure as they move up. But SSG pretty much got it under lockdown, at least for the time being. Meanwhile, the rest of the lobby still pretty focused in on each other, right? That is going to be MW and LSZ. Not quite sure what they're going at here, but either which way, it is going to be exciting.
Well, they're going at it because Meg actually hit a nice bow shot over the top of the board. A great shot all the way down range to actually knock the furthest MW member. You can see them on your screen right now. Down and fold. So LZ had player advantage and they wanted to take this engagement, especially with Tempestol up. They come flying in, but didn't think better of it. Not feeling like they knew exactly where the MW players were. Didn't want to scam, I guess. So they back off. But we have 2 minutes on the clock. And the only team contesting the brick now is the only other team that could close things out. It's FX on the other side. And this is the rotation I was talking about. You can come all the way in from the backside of the decoding station, but it's immediately picked up from Too Easy, who has moved back to the team. Now that the timer is closing in on 90 seconds, wants to play as a full team of 3 here. The fight's still happening, going for the res, bottom right-hand corner of our screen here in the pip. But the main fight, the one that matters the most, is the one on screen for now. It's FX versus SSG at the decoding station. The only 2 teams here. And Team Liquids have backed away from MW because they want to come play for the brick as well. So here comes Team Purple. Liquids gonna try to make a move. They're coming in a little late. Only about 60 seconds for them to make a play. SSG feel the pressure from both sides.
Well, let's see how they are going to look to kind of pace themselves through this one. So far, they look pretty confident, pretty comfortable. Just under a minute remaining on the clock, so it's all going to be go, go, go. As we do see Liquids are starting to move up. Just pulling up in towards the top side there. Coming into the Central Command building. Fernandez also is going to be peeking the angles here, so a big shift of
That's too
focus
late.
coming through from the lobby. Not quite sure if they're going to be able to
Okay, they
make
come.
it over to this though in time, but they are going to try.
Here comes FX. Fernandez getting really aggressive. He's going to have to gun down Easy first. Easy feels the pressure and backs all the way up to the decoding station. He knows the best he can do right now. Don't die. Sit on the decoding station and stop this Tempest. Oh, wait, it's FX. They don't have a Tempest. It's just about gunning down your opponent. Too easy. Still on Brick. Killzall holding the long angle. 9 seconds on the clock, and Killzall's killing everybody. Here comes Liquids. They've got a Tempest going for a steal. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. 2. SSG have held the line yet again. SSG will win the match. They will be perfect throughout the course of the group stages. 10 points yet again. And they're going to get as many kills as they can to assuredly rack up a couple $50 here, a couple $50 there. And continue to add more salt to the wound of all their opponents. Nobody can stop Space Station Gaming.
Oh, again, another absolutely impressive performance coming through here from Killzall. Just so on the money, but he is not done yet as he continues to clean up the layer.
I mean, it's just not even close. Space Station Gaming with the Brick in the north. And without that match point notification that we used to have, I really like this change. These teams are going to have to start waking up. They have to start playing for the Brick. You can't rely on somebody else to do the dirty work for you. And Liquids and FX, they just roll up too late. It was too close. And some great gunny there from Killzall to cover his teammates. As Too Easy sticks at the decoding station to wait for any errant Tempest that could creep their way through. FX has got to be shaking their head about burning their Tempest early in Brakkesh. They really got nothing for that. If they would have had a Tempest for this map, I think they could have made this a better map 5. And they're going to get the res too? There's no way.
I mean, they got to look to capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, DK, we got to talk about points right now, right? We know the top 2 teams, but it's anybody's game still around MW, Leviathan, Nightmare, Liquids. Like, if MW and Liquids don't extract here, you can still see Leviathan get 3rd.
Yeah. No, 100%. Right? They could definitely do that. So, ooh. Liquids, though. They're going to be coming in a bit hard here, but I mean, it's not going to matter all too much what happens to SSG right here. If they go down now, it's okay. They have gotten that second brick. They have double bricked the body, so they are going to be feeling quite comfortable about it. But JDevice still going to continue to try. Got to watch out for Meg, though, coming in with the off-angle hits, though. Oh, the send is there. I like this bold push coming through from LSD, right? They need the points. And Liquids, this could be their opportunity to find it, even though it might potentially be at the expense of SSG. But if it's up to SSG, they're going to try and deny them every single point they get, because in doing so, it ensures a stronger finish for SSG on the overall scores.
Yeah, right now, they get first no matter what. They get 10 points. Any kills that SSG get right now, the only thing that they care about is just an extra $50. I mean... They've gotten everything they want and more, and they're actually going to get it. JDevice goes down. Killzall looking to clean that kill up if he can. Meg holding. Killzall at bay potentially. Oh, sees it. Arrow connects. But he's on Tempest ult, so he's going to go all the way back. It's up to Megalus to land these shots, as somehow we've allowed Space Station Gaming to get a full res, fully restabilize. And the only team of 3 that's left on the map is MW. Now, the good news for MW fans is, remember, they picked up 2 full team wipes earlier in this map. Talk about a huge comeback, as unfortunately Meg goes down. Liquids are out of here. You can see how close it is at the bottom of our leaderboard. Getting 0 points on your second match day. This is day 3 of week 1, but the second match day for these teams, it's got to be extremely frustrating. So MW actually in a really good spot to get 3rd, which is huge for them, because you got to remember, DK, they got last in the first rep in their first match day. So any points here is massive.
Yeah, definitely is, right? They have to try and secure anything and everything that they can find here. And really for MW, I mean, sitting in third place right now, especially if they are able to confirm a few more hits, is gonna set them up quite well. And I mean, SSG, you said they don't necessarily have to worry about getting kill points, right? They don't have to do anything other than just finishing up this round. But I think still focusing on kills, making sure that you just keep on tallying them up. If there later comes a situation where we are into tiebreakers, kill points could potentially maybe be a thing, right? All of those help stack up the squad points. So I think the more points they are able to find here is going to work for them regardless of how they get those. And of course, now adding Puldora to the mix definitely helps drive that point home. And already SSG, they're sitting on 8 kills. Killzilla got 6 so far. Killzilla, rather.
I like Killzilla. I think he needs to change his name to that. That's actually super apt. MW, again, super smart. They send one player out of the map, I believe via test workshop, no bag, if I saw that correctly. So this is a great play from them. Again, just protecting loot value. They've done a ton of work on this map already. 6 kills in total. Just talking about that. So if Loud can also get this res and maybe they play for a couple kills on SSG, like they could easily get third. Go from bottom of the leaderboard to third is a huge jump. Something else worth mentioning, DK, while we have a second, because this is over, right? SSG already won, is winning faster, winning in map 5 or double bricking map 4. You're actually preventing teams from getting points.
Yeah.
Because anytime a team gets a mantle brick at all, that's an extra point. So winning this fast was a huge win for SSG because they put up another 10 points. So they're at 20. They're at a perfect 20. But also teams like MW, LEVIATAN, Nightmare, who are all very good teams, don't get a brick and they don't get a point. Too easy. Another 50 bucks to his name. MW swinging around the corner trying to get something for their efforts. They go down. They get one player out. And maybe it's a spoiler. Maybe it's not.
I see the planes.
No, but they're not. It's too late. Load up the Chiefs. Load up the Chiefs. Load up the Chiefs, bro.
I will hold up that thought. We've got the cons. Let's listen in.
Fuck it. Yeah. What the fuck?
Some excitement and also a bit of, man, it's over? That's it?
Look at the banner.
Everybody's gone?
Yeah. I mean, what an epic finish it is coming through, right? Pick up the cheese. Where's the salute? No, yeah, of course, that one guy. Everybody's saluting and too easy's like, nah, not yet. And off they go. Game, set, match. Skies and everybody here over in SSG finishing strong yet again. Absolutely brilliant play coming through here from them. And I like what you were saying about the team finishing early, right? If they are able to wrap the match up round about round 4, round 5, it does amazing things for them on the leaderboard, but it makes it really tough for the opposing sides.
Yeah, again, closing early just prevents more points from your opponents in this group match. And so, you know, yesterday and the day before, like we saw games go to 6 in game 7 because that allowed a lot of teams to get a bunch of bricks. And so that's a big point, kind of gathering point for a lot of these rosters to find that extra point here, extra point there. That could be the difference. But SSG are the best team today and arguably the best team in the entire Americas region. They pick up 10 kills in this last match. They put up 2,100 damage and they get the mantle brick. A huge swing, $500 spread out between these gentlemen just from the kills they pick up on the map. But another 10 group stage points means they are primed and in position to skip the survivor stage if things can continue to go this way. I still tip my hat to FX, who at least played for the brick that round. They just didn't have a Tempest to utilize. So it's really difficult to get the steal against a Spacestation Gaming that was so set up and prepared for the fight. And then MW, they did what they needed to do. 6 kills on that map should push them up the leaderboard. Maybe not all the way to 3rd place, but at least within contention and maybe at least getting some points since they struggled in their last match day. But take me through these DK kills. I'll pick up 6 as a solo. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, bro's been cooking, right? That's why I called him Killzilla there for a second, because he's just been heating it up. You can see the damage also looking pretty sweet there as well. 1,200 damage coming his way. We do see Meg again with the bow, though. You got to give a shout out to Meg, doing some phenomenal things out there. Yet again, major pain in the side for quite a few of the players here. But at the end of the day, it is going to be the top assisters helping to make things happen. MW, I think they brought in a performance here today, right? Yes, they didn't get their hands on a Mandel break, but they bounced back considerably. Look at this, the assets also that they were able to bag here. You see Rapid and Poldora coming through, looking pretty strong. That puts them on at least 2.4 mil coming in off the back of just this round. So, I mean, pretty strong things happening for them. And I think MW can be proud, right? Because they now have points on the board as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. MVP was kills, although the Beast, yet again, 6 kills, almost 1,200 damage, and 1 million in assets gained just from Safe Box. Well done from Spacestation Gaming to continue to prove why they are on paper the best team here. Really well done from the Beast and the entire team to stay composed amidst the chaos. Nice strategies across the board. Skipping Tempest in the last round. Playing Tempest in this one. Getting the brick. Stealing it away. Running away from MW and putting it at a decoding station that was going to be really difficult for everybody else to get to. And everybody else just moving too dang slow. Well, we've got an interview ready with the Beast yet again. Let's bring him in. Spacestation Gaming got more to say after winning their second match. And Killzall, the GOAT, you guys are perfect throughout the course of the group stages. I know this was expected. We just talked to you about it, but how did today feel? It looked easy.
It feels good because we were playing terrible and we still got 2 breaks, so it's nice. That last round was really good. I felt insane on it.
Yeah, I wanted a quick follow-up about that. How does it feel in that last round to be able to hold over the top of your teammates? You read the pushes perfectly. Everybody else came in slow, but it was the perfect hold so that nobody could steal and you guys secure the brick.
Yeah, I was actually telling Skies to bait us because he was in a pretty good spot on the cars. Unfortunately, he got mollied, so he had to smoke himself. And then, I mean, it happened. I mean, everyone just died.
Speaking about which, though, right? You said everybody just died, right? At some point, I called you Killzilla. I think that might be the start of something, right? Because currently you're Killzall, right? And you're already doing all the things you're doing now, but I think at some point, don't really do it. But at some point, Killzilla could be a nice eventual upgrade coming through, right? It's just you're getting into that level of evolution on the battlefield, making it really tough for the competition. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it. I didn't even come up with the nickname The Beast. Everybody just keeps giving me nicknames. I'll take them. You could call me anything you want.
We're going to call you the winner, my friend, because my goodness, it really wasn't all that close today. You said you weren't playing great, but the last round, I think you really locked in and closed it out. Now, I want to bring you back to what we talked about in the last interview. Talk to me, for those that weren't there, what is your team's motto? I know there's #TooEasy. Big shout out to Easy and the boys, but what is your team's motto, and do you think that came into play today? Because yet again, it looked like all the other teams were waiting for somebody else to do the dirty work.
Yeah, the motto is don't expect these teams to help you win the match. I mean, just do it yourself. And I think some of these teams are playing for kills. We don't really care about the kills. We want the brick. And if they change the format to go for the kills, we're going for the kills. We're just here to win, and getting bricks wins. So it's kind of weird. If you play for the brick, you kind of sometimes get the bricks. Yeah.
Logical,
well,
man.
It helps. It helps. I mean, one thing that we've definitely been starting to notice here is that quite a few teams put a lot of focus on securing kills, right? And quite a few of them actually don't really care too much about what happens to the Mandel break, but you guys have been proving that if you keep focused tight on the Mandel break, there is a great opportunity to succeed and have a very, very strong day. Now, do you think you are going to look to evolve your strategy even more now and add a little bit more complexity to it, or is that pretty much kind of what you're going to be going for here?
No, as long as Mandel breaks are still the objective, we're just going to be 100% on them. You'll never see us on the back, hopefully. We're always trying to play for position for the brick, around the brick, to pick the brick, even from bad pick spots. So we're always there for it.
Well, I want to sneak in one more question before I let you go, because I think this is one that will be eye-opening for some people at home. how much time have y'all spent VOD reviewing? And I know you've scrimmed a crazy amount, but how well do you know these other teams? Like, do you have different strategies or play slightly different depending on who's playing the game? Or do you just feel like you're that confident enough that you don't have to do that type of thing?
No. We play our own game. We don't make any strats for the other teams. I mean, there's 6 teams on the map. You can't predict where everybody's at. I mean, you just got to do what you can do and let others come to you.
Okay, block out all the noise, block out all the haters, and you guys continue to win, man. Congrats again. I'll give you the floor one more time. Anything you want to say to the people at home, haters, or all the fans, whatever you got for me, the floor is yours.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with hashtag It's Too Easy, and we're gonna get a Go Spacestation Gaming, and as a final, I have killed Spider-Man today. Hashtag LEVIATAN on bottom.
Okay, you heard it from Killzall. There it is, folks. Hashtag Too Easy and much more. That is the beast himself. Killzall, Spacestation Gaming, congrats again. You guys are perfect. We'll see you in the next round.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, a great map from Spacestation Gaming. He said it was the only good one that they had, Mr. DK. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights from it, because this is where Killzall really went big to hold the line at the brick. Team's coming in a little bit too late, and he just gunned them all down.
Absolute brutality indeed. I mean, so much happening all over the place here, and I mean, this is just that crazy consistency, right? I mean, just locking in, and I think the weapon choice here was also pretty good, right? The fire rate, just exceptional, just absolutely accurate, and of course,
wow,
they do drive home 30 squad points. A very strong finish here today.
This is unbelievable to see. I'm looking at third place, frankly. We knew it was going to be Spacestation Gaming and Fluxo in second, but third goes to Leviathan because, yes, they tied in squad points. First tiebreaker is kills. MW needed just a bit more loot or just one kill on Spacestation Gaming in the final moments, and they would have gotten third place. That is a jump of 2 extra group stage points, and they desperately needed it because they were in last in their first matchup that they played a couple days ago. This is brutal to see, but hey, we'll take fourth place. It is what it is. A team like Nightmare, Liquids, unfortunately, who are at the bottom of the leaderboard as well, just barely outside of the relegation point of not even making it to the Survivor stage, now walk away with 0 points. They've got a lot of work to do if they want to step up, and okay, that's crazy. It's all Killzall all day. It's match MVP. It's everything MVP. Spacestation Gaming and Killzall picks up 8 kills as an individual, almost 3,000 damage, 2,500 to be exact, 4 assists, and over 12 million. Stepping up to the plate and continuing to say, yes, we say that we're the best, but we're also able to prove it. But Leviathan pick up third, DK, because of this man right here. Socio Legend is still technically top fragger throughout the course of all of the group stages.
Yeah, but Killzall an equal hard on his heels, so he's gonna have to step it up in the next day of play to see whether or not he can continue to defend the overall position. But speaking about which, though, here we have it, our match overall leaderboard, where all the teams find themselves currently situated. You said it before, SSG turning that 10 into a 20, so they are having a field day. But of course, this is where Leviathan are going to be having a pretty decent jump up as well, right? They've gone from 4th place up into 2nd.
Yeah, exactly. Leviathan picking up 3rd there was gigantic for their overall point totals. Now, you also see, of course, Spacestation Gaming at 20 points, which is ridiculous, and everybody else way behind them. But you got to remember, some of these teams, like Team Nadeshot, for instance, they won their group stage. They haven't played their second match. The way these weeks work is that each weekend, when we play 3 total days of competition, there will be a couple groups that play twice and then a couple groups that only play once. So Team Nadeshot is one of those groups that only played once, which is the reason you don't see them any further up. You do see, like you mentioned, FX as well have moving up the leaderboard because they got 2nd place there. They move up to 9 total points. But this continues to go to show what I was talking about before. Mandel bricks do truly matter. That is an extra point. So if you can close out early, you're actually preventing a lot of points from some of the other teams that they could be able to pick up. Nightmare, even though they had a frustrating day today, still find themselves in 5th overall on our group stage graphic and bracket. Standings. Moving into our bracket, there's still a lot of work to do in the group stages, but this is the beginning of what could be a really strong start for Spacestation Gaming. I don't know if they're going to keep up this pace or not, but Killzall said they could go a perfect 60. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, but I think also MW is a team worth a shout here, right? Because they've been able to climb all the way from that 12th place up into 8th. So good moves coming through, finding themselves well out of that relegation zone. But the big thing that is going to be coming up next is going to be July 17th. Group B and D are going to be stepping onto the battlefield to show us what they've got and who is going to be trying to go knocking on some doors with regards to those overall rankings.
Yep, we've got a great schedule ahead of us. And folks, we have somehow, some way already wrapped up all of week 1. DK, you did all the shows. It was a ton of fun watching you. I do want to remind everybody at home, though, that they need to drop a follow on all major socials here at Delta Force, including those official esports account. Delta Force Game Official, of course, is where you can find all of the info around the game and the season updates. But they also have esports accounts here with the Delta Force Rise series, so you can stay up to date on that. And those Twitch panels down below on the Twitch channel are a great resource. You can learn more about the Rise series, how it all works, where the teams are at, their standings. Got a full dedicated website. Definitely go check that out. But DK, final words for week 1, man. Cast it over 6 total matches. How's that feel, and what are you looking forward to?
Firstly, it feels pretty damn epic. These teams have been bringing so much onto the battlefield, and as I said before, this is only the start. It's only the first weekend. We still have 3 more to go, so I think there's going to be a lot that is going to be happening across the board. But I think the big takeaway here is for the teams that have participated this week to take a look back and see how things went for them, right? If it didn't go according to plan, do the VOD review. Make sure that you have a good response on how to fix it come week number 2, because the further and further we get into the group stage, the more challenging it's going to become to fix the point situation. And that is going to be essential come those later few weeks.
I think it's great, wise words from my man, DK. Thanks for joining us, DK. And folks at home, thank you for joining. As a reminder, this has been a ton of fun, but it is just week 1. We'll be back every Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the next 4 weeks in a row. 3 more weeks of group stages coming your way to figure out who the top 2 teams are that'll skip straight to the finals and who everybody else will be when they go through the survivor stages in the final weekend of chaos. The finals is going to be a banger. There's a ton of money up for grabs. You're not going to want to miss all the lead up to it. And as a final reminder, we couldn't do it without you, the viewer. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for week 2 of the Delta Force Rise series.
Picks up 2 members. Now the odds are in their favor. 2v1. Everything getting spammed away, and MT getting